Right, we are day 10 now. So yesterday it was skimmed. It's peed it down last night, so it's not dried out as good as what we thought it were going to by today. They are still going to do the second fix lights and sockets, but we're not going to fix anything back. We're just going to leave it floating, because of course it will be dead anyway. The Stirlos competition is hotting up. There are quite a few entries, a few WhatsApp messages, and a few text messages and all, because I know some people struggle with WhatsApp. What's up with your face today? What? What were you looking like that for then? All right. Don't forget, I'm going to keep banging on about this right up until the very end. Yeah, we have been voted for this. Nominated, rather. We've been nominated for the most charitable business of the year. If you could vote for us, that would be fantastic. Because, let's face it, you've had loads of hourly entertainment offers this for this past 2 weeks, haven't you? They must have had 5, 10, probably 12, 13 hours solid. Easily, yeah. Jen's wrote down a hell of a lot of questions, so she wants something back in return. So, like I said, the Stirlos competition is heating up. The number, I believe, is not available at this moment in time, but may be available today. What we're going to do, John's going to do the electrics. He's going to talk you through that very, very soon. I am going to fit these bifold doors. Jen is also going to do the electrics, and she is going to fit the single door, right, Jen?
I am, yeah.
She's indeed. What's Davey going to do? What are you going to do, Davey? Davey's going to do the canopy lights. Right, so Davey put these slate buttons on the day before yesterday. He put them on with the laser, so he set the laser in the middle. He spun a line straight around there, and then these slate buttons have gone all the way around. So when I take these slate buttons off, what I will do then is just clean the edge of that plaster. I'll have to take them off really carefully because it's still a bit damp. Clean the edge of that plaster, and then what we're going to do then is get a heat gun on this floor, dry this floor off because I'm going to silicone it and I want the silicone to stick to it, and then we're going to get the sill in and fit the doors. But I'm going to show you the quickest way ever to fit a set of bifold doors.
Right, so this is my electrician's sockets tutorial for now. I'll do the lights a bit later on. Before we go any further, basically electricity kills. It's very dangerous. You shouldn't do this yourself. You should get a qualified electrician to do it. Thank you. Right, so I'm now going to draw you a diagram of my sockets, and then I'm going to show you me putting this socket on. Right, so this is my consumer unit. So basically I ran a cable from the consumer unit straight into a double socket which was going next to the consumer unit for the modem. I then went to the corner of the building and ran a cable in there. I came back past and there was a double socket here too. I did that. I then come up over here round the corner. Just hang on, I'm just trying to there's an external socket somewhere there. I ran to an external socket, then into another double socket, which is that corner there. and then, right, so
Go.
sorry about that, I made a few mistakes. So here's my consumer unit. So I came out with a cable from my consumer unit, which I will show you me putting in shortly, into a double socket, which was straight next to the consumer unit. I went straight to the end. Then I went back from the end into this double socket here. Hang on, I'm just confused. Straight past there in, that's it, straight past, sorry I'm getting confused where I went, all the way to an outside socket here, from the outside socket to this socket here, and then to here, which you can actually, Liam can actually show you there.
So you've obviously put them cables on, John, yeah, so that they've got, see this one's got one cable in, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's because that's the last socket on the radial.
Right, so the rest will have two in?
The rest have all got two in, yeah.
Right, and it's not good practice to run a spur?
It's not, no. That's why I sort of went to here, then to the end of the building, and then started running the radial from there, and then finishing on that side there.
Right, so we've got how many sockets on our radial?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Lovely. Right, so what you can do now?
I'm going to now wire this last socket. I have done a few over there, which maybe we'll show you, but I'm actually going to talk you through wiring this socket up, and then later on we'll do the lights also. Right, so, I mean, the end of the day, when Liam taught me how to do this, he used to just use a set of nips, and that's sort of what he used to strip all these cables, and of course you've got ordinary screwdrivers, flathead screwdrivers, whatever you want to call them. I have a small one and I have a really big one. I bought a flathead, I've got a big end and a small end. Right, I use these snippers, the by CK, and they strip the cables. You don't have to, you can use the
Carry on. Jen, can we have an off-cut cable just so we can see this before he cuts this, and we'll show these strippers working?
I mean, to be fair, I have had these years and all, and they're absolutely fantastic.
Right, so tell 1 minute. So what you doing? Tell us, talk us through it.
So you put the cable into here. You choose where you want to strip it, of course, because that's where it's going to strip. You just pull down and you just go like that, and it pulls.
And that doesn't damage the cable?
Not at all. And if you're skilled enough, which I am, but Liam's got the phone around me.
Really
Right, you've got to put a bit of pressure on. So watch
right,
this.
1 minute.
You've got to press these down here, otherwise it doesn't. This should now strip them 3 cable. Well, the 2 of them, because you think, see, I've stripped the lot in one go.
Yeah, lovely.
You know what I mean?
Lovely.
So now what I'm going to do is here, because we've left a bit of slack outside, I can actually get this right in here, right to the back. If you haven't left no slack, I will show you another way somewhere else. And then it's good practice. I will push that back and leave a right little bit of grey there on the hole when I've finished, and I'll foam the hole and that'll seal it all up. So we've now got us 3 cables, and what I usually do with these cables is let them run a little bit past that corner. It is enough if you think about it there. You've got plenty of cable there to push back in, and you've got a service loop just in case anything snaps and you need to change a socket in years to come. You've still got plenty left.
Right, can I just say something to you? So the plaster has been, but them little grub screws for the faceplates are lovely and clean. How come?
Ah, right, sorry about that. Thank you, Liam. Yes, so basically I put masking tape on these. I don't know if Liam did video it yesterday. I always put masking tape.
I did, but not everybody watches the series, do they?
Okay, so I put masking tape over these all the time to make my life easy. So all I did this morning is just pull that off.
Lovely.
And mine says it. What I will say, I'll give you another tip and all. I always clean the plaster out from the socket. I've done it already ahead of time, but do it now, because when you laminate floors down, if you come to put your sockets on later, you end up with a load of this plaster here all over your nice new laminate floor. So get rid of it now and your socket's clean. Right, so I'll just chop this back now, because I've just got a bit confused. We'll go there. I'm now going to strip these cables back. With this, oops, not got enough. This, of course, has only got 1 cable because it's the end. You usually would have 2 cables. This one's a bit easier to do. So I'm assuming I've got to be really clear with this, Liam. So if you just come and have a look at this here, we've got an earth on this side, we've got an earth on this side, we have a neutral and a live.
Well, so you've got 1 earth there, but I see you've got two earth connections there.
Yeah, that basically bridges the 2 earth connections. You put 1 over there or 1 over there. What I usually do with a double cable is, some people twist them together, some people go against it. So I started putting 1 in one side and 1 in the other side.
Right.
There you go. So what I always do is, with that being said, I slacken my screws now fully off, so I can see that they're fully slackened off there. See that one there, the earth there? I'll do the neutral as well. I'll use the video to have a look at this and go there.
That, yeah.
I mean, it is only 1 cable, so it's dead easy to get in anyway. And because it's 1 cable...
Jed.
Who's pulling cable off me? Somebody's nicking my cable, bro. Get off. I'm actually going to go a bit more with this. Because it's a single cable, I'm going to double it over. Right, well that's the end of the tutorial. I've lost all the cable, that's the end of it. So what I'm going to do, because this is a single cable, some Sparky said do it, some said I'm actually going to double these over on the end.
Ah, you're going to make them over.
I don't usually do it when there's 2, because you get 2 cables in, it's got a right good tight fit. So for that I'm going to use these snips. You can just use normal snips, but you'll see in a minute when
Just explain them to me, John.
So see these 2 holes in the middle? I very rarely
I know you
use
can't
them.
see because I'm holding camera over.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, as long as you can see.
Yeah.
These 2 holes here are for 1.5 and 2.5 cable. We've got any here. I mean, it's probably going to pull it out, but let me just snip a bit off. This is 2.5, isn't it? So you can put it in. 1.5, sorry. Yep, so it's the top one. So if I put it in, I can close the pliers and pull, and you see how it stripped it for me?
Got you, yeah.
And it doesn't actually cut the cable.
How much are they?
No, they're really expensive.
Yeah, about 35 quid that.
Yeah, maybe a bit more. Who are these by now? I can't remember the name. SMW? They're really expensive. They're really expensive. I bought them and I only sort of use them really to bend the cable, because I like to put the cable in the middle there and bend it. Anyway, I'll show you. So some people use snips now. I like to put, see them holes, Liam, that we've just discussed? I'm sort of going to put my cable in between them holes now and give it a nice bend like that.
Let me just zoom in on that if I can. Yeah, I see what you've done there. So you've
I've
doubled
used
the
it,
area,
yeah, I've doubled
yeah.
it, yeah. Some people say you can do it, some people say you can't, do you know what I mean? Anyway, we'll get on with this now and get it done.
I do, yeah. Just put the 2 inputs on them, please, yeah.
So now I'm gonna measure the earth
Sorry,
sleeve.
1 minute, John. Yeah, just two end ones, put the string line on it, and then we'll go from there. Sorry, John, go.
So I'm now going to do the earth sleeve. I'm going to put the earth sleeve to the end. There's a couple of ways of doing this, and I am going to cut it a little bit short because again I want to double the cable. You could usually just leave it about 20mm back, but I'm going to go a little bit more because I know that I want to double that cable over.
Can I just show you the way my
Yeah,
brother,
go on. Yeah,
you
do you want me
that?
to show you?
Yeah.
So I think what Liam...
So there's that way, he's held it next to it basically.
So
to earth
you put
conductor.
it onto it, don't you, Liam?
Yeah, you leave your gap at the bottom then, how much you want. So then you bend over the cable at the end.
So if we want that much there, look, you bend over the cable and you can just chop that there and then push it down. That's another way, but for some reason I don't know why I do it that way. I just always revert back to that way, but you'll make your own
mind. Will you be bending over your earth?
Yes, that's right. That's why I've left it quite long, because I'm going to bend over the earth. And again, using these holes in what I would just use to strip the cable, you get a nice neat, just pull that back a bit. You get a nice neat bend there for your socket. So now we're ready to go. So I'll put my earth in this side. Now there's a little tip here. Pull your earth sleeve back, because you do not want the screw to trap your earth sleeve. So when you've done this, you need to check that your earth sleeve has not been trapped. And I know this because the Sparky once pulled me on it and said he had a bad reading on the earth, and it was because I trapped the sleeve. So what I do is, I can see now, I can just see the earth underneath. I don't know if you can, but it's there. So that sleeve is definitely not trapped. Doesn't even matter if the sleeve was a few mil smaller than that, to be fair. It's just to show you that that's an earth cable. So
for those that know nothing, John, about electrical and stuff like that, so how do you know which is neutral and which is live?
Well, N is neutral.
No, sorry, how do you know which cable? Sorry, for somebody who knows nothing about electrics.
Okay, well, you shouldn't really be doing this anyway, as we've discussed.
I like that, yeah.
So if you don't know that blue's neutral and brown is live, then you definitely shouldn't be doing this at all. What I will say is, this to me is no different to wiring a plug. It's just the same. You've got live, neutral. Same as the board. When I jump to that, I will probably use that terminology again as to how easy it is to wire. But again, if you don't know what you're doing, you shouldn't do it. It's just how I see it. Right, so we'll put this in again.
I have to apologise. I've just cut top of your head off there. My filming's terrible, but go on.
Yeah, don't blame me. So, well, now these screws want to be quite tight. They don't want to be over tight, but they definitely want to be tight. And I'll show you a little trick that Liam taught me when he was teaching me. So I'll now put the live in there. We now know...
Hold on. Liam was teaching you. When a Sparky jumps down your throat at this, don't blame me.
Right, so what I usually do, is, I mean, the cable's a bit loose now. I will press it in like this, bend the cables, and then I'll pull it back out and check that none of the cables have popped out.
Got you.
That's what you taught me, wasn't it? That's what I'm saying.
That's right.
So, I mean, that socket now, it's the last socket. That socket is complete. That's how to put a socket on.
I've just cut your head off again. John, will you talk us...
So they have got no head.
Will you talk us through the lights in a minute?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I'm going to do 3 circuits, so we'll do the lights, and then I'll wire the board then, but I'll only show you 1 circuit because they're all the same. Right,
we always like to fit the gutter when it's raining. I don't know why, but it's like literally every single job we've done recently, we've fit the gutter while it's been raining. You can see the picture of the roof is working the way it should do, yeah? Rain's hitting the roof, it's running back. It's running down the little 2-part gutter trim and it's falling off, which it will fall into the gutter when the gutter's placed. So the way to do the gutter is, you can see he's got 2 gutter brackets, one left, one right. We know this roof is level. because our building is level on this elevation. If it was pitched, then it'd be the other way around, but this one is level. So what he's done, that bracket there, he's lifted that tight up to the underside of the 2-part gutter trim, and this bracket here, he's dropped it down slightly just past the bottom of the soffit. So the building is level, and he's put the string line like that, if that makes sense. So he's put a string line on both sides. What he's going to do now is, I'll let him talk. Go on, Brendan.
So to start with, I've got my first bracket here, which then I'll put my tape onto the back and measure 800 across, which is where we've always put them. I'll keep
So
my
800 is a good spacing for brackets. You don't really want to be going more than that. Less than that's fine, but it's going to spend more money. It's going to look too busy. But 800 is optimum distance.
Yeah, I'll keep my finger there till I've got my bracket in my hand and screw.
Can you just jump up, Jen, so you can see how he's got just where he's just nipped that up to there, look. Get up on the trestle if you can. Jen's hiding under the tree at the minute because it's raining.
So yeah, I've got my 800 and I'll just push it up just so it's to the underside, the line, just before it touches it. You don't want it to push it up.
Do you want me to pass your screws, Brendan, or are you good?
And then put the screw right big out. Is that right?
Yeah, you
Just
can see how there, look, his bracket is just under the string line.
2 screws so it don't twist. That's your first bracket on. So just move this trestle over here.
Davey, have you put an end cap on the gutter? Yeah. We get our gutter from, we get it all from Tool Station because they've always got all of it, all the different components in stock. Davey, show Jen an end cap there. So the end cap, it just literally clips onto the gutter. It's got a rubber sealing that will like clip underneath the gutter to stop any rainwater coming out, and that just stops the rain from coming out the end of the gutter. Basically, that's what an end cap is. That's what it says on the tin, basically.
So I've got my 800 again. Fingers there. Push it just under. See it move it up there. You don't want it to do that. Maybe just under.
So the gutter itself comes in 3 metre lengths. Now we are putting our hopper over this end. Luckily enough, this building is just over 3, so we're not going to have to cut the gutter, but the end of the gutter will come here and the hopper will go there. But Brandon will explain to you what he's going to do with the end as well. Do you want me to move, Brandon?
I can just jump straight on.
Jen, you jump across as well, and I'll move that up there.
Jump the screw again.
That's hilarious, Brandon.
Right.
What you just showed me. Go on, I'll look there.
Can I?
Normally me. I don't know, you have to ask Brendan's permission.
Can we say Brandon?
Yeah, you can show them. Might be able to cut it back in. I've got the screen recorded.
Well, no, we'll see if anybody can pick it up.
So now I've got to the end, I'm going to take my string off, because I don't need...
Right.
Can you reach to that end?
Well, I tried that, Brandon, but that,
Is that what you tried?
that's exactly what I tried. I thought I'd be able to stand on this 2 inch of moss-covered wood, but that didn't work. Right, so go on, sorry, Brandon, sorry.
Yeah, we'll put, because
Give us the hopper, Debbie.
this has fallen nice on this one where we don't have to cut down the gutter.
Just show the rubber seals on there as well, mate.
Yeah. So you've got your rubber seals. When fitting the gutter, as Liam told me, your gutter has to finish there, not there, because when it expands, it
creaks.
it doesn't work.
It eats each other and creaks. David, would you just tell us when that gutter's in the right place? There? Yeah. Right, Brandon, I'm good there. Right, what happens with these clips, Brandon?
So when
What happens with the last clip?
when you're forcing them down, the last clip likes to snap off,
And then you have to take the
break
full
it,
lot off again, don't
and
you?
you have to restart, and it's a pain. We're popping this in now.
I would pop the hopper on first.
It's just getting the level, the straightness.
It'll go in now.
Oh, do you mean like that?
You know, because you're only a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I stood on there and slipped straight off, didn't I? Right, Brandon, don't let that owl go on mic.
Yeah.
Right, I don't really want to put these clips down because I break them all the time. got it.
You're gonna want this trestle.
Get me another trestle tool, David. Just stay away, Jen. You keep filming him, I'll clip this one on.
No.
Brandon, if you want, do you want me to get a bit of pipe on there now? Give us a full measure to floor so that we can carry on.
Will do.
David, will you cut the pipe? Down pipe. Straight down to the floor, Brandon, and then we'll shorten it afterwards.
Yeah.
What you got?
It's a bit awkward under it. Tight there, you got 21.35.
21.30, David. Yes, please. Right, I've managed to get them in without breaking them, Brandon.
As you can see, the gutter's working because we've got water.
Yeah, roof's working, gutter's working, we're good with that. Have you lost your bit?
Yeah, someone got a bit.
Yeah, I've got a bit. So did you say what you did?
No, no one said.
So when you was lifting the plasterboards, you told me you've got mic on.
Right, so Brandon was lifting the plasterboards the other day. Now I didn't notice, but when he overexerted when he was lifting the board, we'll drop the clip in now. No, one hand. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on.
So I've cut the downpipe just to stop me from getting soaked. That just pops in there. Once I've got the rivet gun round, I'll just drill there, pop a rivet in.
And are you going to keep the downpipe 4 foot away from the building like it is at the moment?
No, I'm not.
Nice one.
I'm going to put some bends on and it's going to go into there. Rivet the bends on.
But we'll do that after breakfast, won't we, Brandon?
Yeah, we'll do that with
just
rain
tell me
calm
about
down.
that last little bit, because at this moment, let's exaggerate, the rain's running down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if the rain falls in obviously here and it's down pitch, it's all going to sit here and it's going to flood and fall out. So what I do is I just move this up a tiny bit, not too much because you get an awful kick on it, but just a tiny bit back up and then it all falls into the downpipe.
Can you give us a length for that end piece now so David can cut it? And don't forget the end cap. So I want to go past the fascia a little bit.
So what if you probably can't see, but you can see your original screw holes. What I tend to do is just move it that fraction, and then because they only put 2 screws in, you should have a 3 hole, and then put it in forward. And that's all you need to move it, just so that pitches back down instead of that way.
Right, so that's the end cap. This is the piece he's got cut, yeah. And I'm going to put that up tight to there, and I'm just going to get that clip faucet back like that. So what's happened there is that rubber seal on the bottom there, yeah, is then held tight to the bottom side of the gutter there, which stops any water coming back out. There you go, Brendan.
Cheers.
Have you done that without breaking any clips?
Yeah.
Well done. Right, so that's your gutter. We're going to have breakfast and he'll do the downpipe afterwards, and he'll show you how we're going to rivet the downpipe and get the downpipe in this recess on the metalwork as well.
Right, so we're back here at the fuse spur now. I'm going to show you how to put a fuse spur on. I have actually left all the cable and the tape on and everything, which I did discuss in the video you may have watched before. So I'll show you how to do it from start. So I'm going to pull my little coil out that I've already left there. You see that, Jen? And I'm also going to get all the plaster out, as I also discussed in the previous video, so that when we put the laminate floor down, we don't get no muck or no plaster on the laminate floor. Give it a good clean. It's good practice to do it now. I've seen loads of sockets where you go and all plaster is still all in the back. It takes 2 seconds to get it out. I've removed the masking tape so the holes are nice and clean, as Liam mentioned. So we've got one cable here at the minute. Can I have that blackboard?
The blackboard?
Blackboard, yeah, there's cables on it. I'm just going to quickly show you why we've only got 1 cable, but we're going to end up with 2. Right, okay. So there is my cable. At the minute I've got 1 cable. That is the incoming cable. It is coming from the consumer unit and straight in to there. So again, that is the cable coming from the consumer unit. That is the live. I'm now going to put that.
What size cable is it?
It's a 2.5 cable. You have to use a 2.5 and a 16 amp breaker on a heater. Thanks for that, Liam. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to wire that cable, which I'll show you in a second, to the input. This fuse spur here has it's usually called load, or in or out. We need to put it to the in, so that we've got live to here, and then we'll put the heater to the load, so that when we turn the fuse spur on, the heater will come on. If anything goes wrong, it'll trip or blow the fuse inside. So that's that. Same procedure again. I'm gonna do this 2 ways now. I'm gonna strip it off the end. As you can see, the cable's really long, and I'm not going to push it back in the wall. I'm going to show you another little trick that you can use. I always put a little nip in this here, so that when I pull this cable, it strips it back nicely. It's another way of stripping it back. A lot of sparkies do it this way instead of using them tools that I use. I just want to be careful, because sometimes it can slip and hit the plaster, so I'm just going to go nice and steady. And there you go, and I'll pull it back, and as you can see, it stripped that cable nicely. We have got a bit of slop there, which I'll push back in the wall. The heater probably won't be shown today, but I'll show you when I put the heater on the wall. If you remember, Liam did an hole in a pat here. We're going to drill an hole and thread the cable behind, bring it out of the back, and the heater will be on the wall, and it will be all cable. The cable will be on the wall. So, same thing again. I will come to the corner here, chop the cables. This is not going to properly go on, to be honest, because we need it off for when we wire the heater, so I'm just going to put it on loose. So I don't know if Jen can see this. Let's take a look. Let's see if I can get it into light, Jen. So you can see I've got L in, N in. So that's your live, that's your input, live in, neutral in, then you've got out. So the heater will go in there. These are the 2 earths. So basically your power comes in there. It doesn't work until you flick this switch, and that will then make a connection down here, and the heater will come on. If anything goes wrong, this fuse will pop here, or the breaker will go, and it'll kill the power from the heater, and it'll just have the power going in here. So again, I'm going to use my trusty tool.
You need to get your job signed off.
You have to get your job signed off. This job, when I finished it all and tested it today, I think Tony's coming Monday and he will test it off. I will talk about the last light up there. We need to leave the last light down for him so he can put his tester on there. We also leave the last socket, which is the one that I've just fitted. That will be left there for him too, so that he can put his testers on and check it out. So again, you don't have to do this, but I always like to slacken all these ready for when I cable. Can't really see, it's really dark in here. How's it look on phone, Jen?
Just somebody liked your HD comment, John.
HD?
Have you got your HD
Yeah,
on
I've got
now?
my HD on. Definitely need HD for this job. I know ages ago, me and Liam was on a job and I was trying to get this screw in before I had glasses, and Liam went, "Are you blind? Can you not see?" And I went, "Yeah, I can see." Anyway, I went to opticians 2 weeks later and they went, "No, you can't." There's some glasses.
So much so that he tried to put a stick in a hole the other day and thought it were a brown plug.
Yeah, a piece of twig. Yeah, I put a piece of twig in a hole and Brandon went, "It's not a brown plug." I went, "It is." He went, "In, it's a twig." We better change that then, eh?
John?
Yes?
When you've done that, will you talk about the heater, the brand and the size and where we get it from, please? Because that always gets asked.
Yeah. So again, we're just doing what we did on the previous one. We put in a little bend on the cable. So I'll use these now because I've not, if you look, I've not got the stinger quite long enough, so we will actually use these. I don't usually use them because I don't really like them. My Jen watched that hit you in the face. So basically, I'm going to put the brown to the in, I'm going to put the blue to the L in, I'm going to put the blue to the N in, and I'm going to put one of these sim to this side. I'm going to leave it hanging there then, and then when I do the heater later on, the cable will come through it. I'll have the same cables, brown, blue, and sometimes on an heater you get a black cable. We just put a connector block on that, but on this heater it doesn't actually have a connector block. It is a 2 kilowatt digital heater. isn't it, Liam?
Yeah,
2 kilowatt.
Loads of people ask us to make there. It's a German make, Stiebel Electron or something. Absolutely quality heater, quality bracket. And we get from Sman Electrical. Toolstation actually sell them, but I know Sman's a lot cheaper, but I'm not going to tell him.
Again, you see I've got my earth sleeve pushed back. I don't want the earth sleeve to go and get trapped. Otherwise, I'll be getting a bollocking for a
Do you want me to pay for that permit?
reading that Tony will get.
2 minutes. Right, you ready?
It doesn't matter whether you put this in the left or the right. I'm going to use the heater for this side. But of course, the neutral and the live most certainly matters. Not slacking the screw in there.
His card details then.
Yeah, Jen?
Yeah, they said his card details.
It's did it. Got a little crush. And there we go. Oh, she's gone in lovely. I also bend these cables like this when I'm doing the board. So again, neutral in, live in. I've not bent it enough again either, look. Well, no, it's good that, you know, 'cause if anybody does it, which you shouldn't, again, we're going to say, you shouldn't be doing it unless you know what you're doing.
Did you know why I walked outside then?
Yeah. Liam,
Give my card details out.
yeah, Liam, we're just going to let you all. So again, I'm not going to push it too hard because I don't want to break the plaster. So we've now got the input, the live cable. The other side is at the board. It's just sat there and waiting to be connected, which I'll show you shortly. Thank you.
Right, are we off?
Yeah.
Yes. Right, so I fit the glass on that side. I haven't, you hear it wobble in there. I haven't fit the seal yet. I just wanted to show you fitting this glass on this window because they are a bit of a pain, these ones. Right, so you need to take your bead out first. My plaster is still moist, so I don't want to get any marks in that. Right, what you need to do now is take your handle off. I've done it the wrong way around, of course. Right, you need to take the bottom screw out first. And he's got wrong size screwdriver as well. You got one in your bag, Jen? You have. There we go. Take the bottom screw out. You can leave it sat in so you don't lose it. Close the window again. Take your top one out. That one you possibly will lose. Put that down there. Right, get the rest of these beads out. You see this one here, look? See that bead is cut around the lock? Yeah? It can be a bugger to get in. But we'll see. Bottom bead. Top bead. Right. Because this is an opening window, it still wants tone healing. In exactly the same way we do with all our other windows. That going to go back on there? No. Alright, we'll discard that. I'm going to show you how to tone heal it quickly, and I'm going to show you how to get this bead in. Right. The window opens outwards like that, so this is the strong point on the hinge, so we want to tone heal it from there to there. So you're creating a diagonal brace which stops the window from dropping down. I've explained that loads before, to be fair, haven't I? Yeah, right. Glass. This particular company who make this glass, their sticker is on the inside. It has to be on the inside because it's got a special coating on it, and that's what they want on the inside. See there, look, we've got to get it past that latch. Yeah, I'm going to try and get it up there. John, is there any chance you can get us a plastic shovel out of that box, please? Right, so that's in now. I think it might be, unless Davey's not brought me one in. Has he not brought me one in? Right, I've got packers in there and packers in there.
Outside?
I've got a packer in there, and what I'll do then is just squeeze a couple in the top once I get this shovel. Sorry, we're not prepared. I just wanted to do this on the fly and show you. David! You say look, right in front of everybody.
We don't
Come on, David.
How are you getting on, David?
Yeah, you're right, mate.
Sure you know that.
Right, so what I'm going to do there, can you see the window? Can you see it going up at all, Jen?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just going to lift it up a little touch. It doesn't want much, it's not a big window, yeah? I'm going to get another packer in there. Right, okay, so that's now tone healed. I've got packers there, so there's no weight on this bottom corner of the glass there, which will then push the window down. The little thing you might want to do is get everything prepared, unlike me. Right, I always put my beads down in the way they're going to go back up, simply because sometimes, very occasionally, with slightly different lens, yeah, it's a nylon hammer that I'm hitting that with. Yeah. Somebody suggested that I shouldn't be using a nylon hammer, I should be using a rubber hammer. Well, all the glazing shops sell the nylon hammers, and I haven't seen a rubber hammer for sale in the glazing shop. Just saying. Right, so these beads go in on the piss, and then you've got to bray them on. That one's gone in. Right, this is the one that is normally difficult to get in. We'll see how we go with it. What's you going first time now? I'll break window. Break window. That might be the best option, mightn't it? Right, we'll start at the bottom. What I need to do is push it across. It's gone in, lovely. Right, so that's in. So what you need to do now is lose the screw like I just have. I told you you'd lose screw. Where? So what happens? It drops on the floor and disappears forever. Ever and ever. Right, so...
Oh, you like me and lose the key.
Put that, yeah, you lost the key, didn't you? Right, there we go. Right, so that's gone in. Located that back in. Get that top screw screwed in. Right, the window is going to want to open now, so I'm going to keep it pulled to me. Get the bottom screw. And generally when these come, they'll have a little bit of cellophane wrapped around the handle with spare screws, because they know you lose them, and a little plastic cap, which should be in this little jiffy bag. You see the spare screws, like, in case you lose them. There, and that will clip on there and there. All that remains to do now is for that to get its gaskets fitted, which can be a pain as well, but we'll see how that goes after breakfast.
So we're back now after breakfast. We said we'd get the downpipe on. I've just quickly dry fit all this, so I'm going to quickly talk you through what I've already done. So to get this, what's this called? What's this thing called? A night.
Offset bend.
So the offset bend will sit onto the hopper, but so this don't wiggle about, you've got to cut a little piece of downpipe. It's 35mm, you can measure it, it's the size of that. You just sit that on there and then push that up, it stops any wiggle. And if you can see on this one, our channel that we'll be putting the downpipe into is slightly off the hopper. So we'll angle it, and then when we've angled it, we needed to bring it back a bit. So we put the bracket on, just get the bracket back, and I pulled that off. So what we did is, you can see this piece here, we'd put the bracket on so it was set right, and then that originally there was a gap with nothing there, so we'd measured that gap, which was 30mm, added that onto our 35mm and cut the piece of downpipe to go in, which then has set that right. So that's all the pieces that we've cut. To fit the actual gutter, we've opted to use rivets. We used to use gyprock screws. It don't really matter which one you use, but once you know it's in the right place, obviously, because rivets don't come back out, you get your 5mm drill bit. I'm going to drill it through this side. You can't see that. That's drilled through. And then get my rivet gun. Rivet gun's not on. And that's solid onto there. You only need to put one rivet in because it holds it well. You want to get round.
There for a second, Dad.
That's your rivet. It's a nice, neat finish. That's that one. Then make sure everything's tight because you don't want the water to leak through. And then same on this bend here. You want to rivet this in. And that's that part. So now you've got your bend here, which I like to then rivet to my offset bend, my downpipe as well, so it can't come loose. So now that's all solid, it's never going to come apart. Obviously you want to get your brackets in. Today I've decided that I'm going to put my bracket just roughly centre between the two resilient bars. So I'm just going to have to put that there. It's quite a tight fit in there, but you can force it in. Obviously if you've got any cables, make sure you know that before, but you can actually just get your drill bit
What are you talking about? Cables? No, what before?
Make sure you've got no cables behind where you put your bracket when you drill through, because you don't want to be drilling through cables at this point. So I know that there's a cable up there, run round to the board, and there's also a cable right at the bottom. So I'm going to stay well away from that, so we can't cause any problems. But like I say, it's a bit of a tight fit, but it finishes well. You can just drill straight through the bracket. I like to get the riveting first before I drill both. There, you've probably just seen it pull it back. It's a nice tight fit. And then same on that side.
Is that Bosch drill able to drill an hole in this metal?
Yeah, the Bosch drill is able to drill an hole. That's it there, the rivets are in. I think it's a nice neater finish than the jit rocks. We decided we'll put 2 brackets on. I've then decided, because I know there's a cable down here, my resilient bar line's here, so I'm going to go just under. Same again, get your drill. And that's it, it's nice, neat, it's really solid. You're never going to worry about that coming off. Nice fixings. And that's it, that's you got to run your downpipe.
We're now going to talk about the lights. So if we just spin over to Liam, he's going to draw the diagram for you. So we started, basically I started over here. I went across here. Yeah, there's 10 lights in the 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, yeah. I'll just
I'm not going
finish
to
the
draw
drawing.
all 10 because I'm not drawing it to scale, John.
Well, no, do it.
Well, no.
Yeah, we'll go on then.
We've
Do
got
8.
We've got 8.
So Liam's got his last light there, but actually it's over there. But that's beside the point. So basically, when I pull this cable, I used one continuous cable. I pulled it through. I drilled through the outside of the joist there, and I basically zigzagged, and I kept it one full cable until the end there, Jen. See that one over there? That's the end of the cable. That over there, where Jenny's already put that light on, that is the first light, but of course that was just a cable hanging there on its own. We need to send a live up to that so that it can trigger all these other lights. So there's a cable running, as Liam's just drawn, from there, outside of the building, which I will show you in a minute or soon. It's going to the light switch. So at the light switch, we'll have an inside light cable, we'll have a canopy light cable, and we will have a feed, which is a live cable coming from the Liam's just lovely drawn that there, going all the way around there. That will send a live there, which will then switch, which I'm going to show you anyway, and send a live here, which will connect this light, which will connect all the other ones.
I will quickly draw the switch detail for you, John.
Do you need to though? So I'm actually going to show them it on live.
Yeah, because it's... Oh, trust me.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
I trust you.
CPU.
So this is this. Right. Okay. So
Let's see if John can decide for my drawing.
Well, I'm not actually. I'm going to talk about my stuff, but Liam has actually given. So at the switch, we will have a common. Well, we'll actually have 2 because we're using a double light switch. So we'll have a common at the top on one side, a common at the other. At the bottom, we will have an L1 and an L2, and then on the other switch we'll have an L1 and an L2. So what will happen is, which Liam's not drawn, remember the cable I was just telling you from the consumer unit, that cable from the, is this it, Liam? Is that it?
That's
right, okay, got you, brother. Right, so yeah, so that is the live cable, and you can see that he's got it going in the common at the top. And then usually we bridge another little cable, which I will show you on the fly, into the common for the other switch. So you've now got a live there and a live in the other side. But of course it's here, it's not down here yet. So we now get our brown cable from our inside lights and as outside lights ultimately, and we put it in L1 on one side off of the inside light, and then the outside lights we will put the brown cable to L1 on this side, so when we flick the switch the common, which is live, will then bridge the L1, which will send the brown cable live up to the lights in the ceiling. I'll show you when we do it, but that's basically how it works.
But that basically is a 1-gang switch, but John's going to show you a 2-gang switch. But for clarity, I've just shown you a 1-gang switch, but I'll show you 2-gang. Now you're going to show them now, or are you going to?
I'm just going to do it live.
Okay.
And I'll also show you how to get it the right way round, because sometimes you can get it the wrong way round, and how to get the first switch that you come to when you come through the door to be the inside lights, because you don't want it to be the switch furthest away, because it just doesn't make sense. Right, Jen, we'll go to this light, just because it's easier. I've not got a light yet, we've got one here. So we're using these, for this build, we're using these IP65 fire rated lights. They've got, are they called Wago connectors, Liam? Is that what we call them?
They're not actually, Wago's a brand, but it's the same thing,
Yeah,
isn't it?
it's a push. You can press them, push your sting, your wire in, let go, and they do. And when we first started using them, we thought they were terrible, but there wasn't. It was just the technique of using them. They're really good. So on this connector,
Can I just interrupt? I think the Wago one, John, I think it's got that, but then it clips down. You know, actually compresses
yeah, oh,
it.
got you
so,
right.
yeah.
So it's a push fit connect. So we've got a neutral, we've got an earth, and we've got 2 here. We're going to use these for our live wires. I'll just show you that now. So I've stripped the cable back. I will never let the plastic off the light here, just so it doesn't get damaged. Now I know just from experience that this is going to go in here. We need to make sure these cables are long enough, and you can see, ideally you've got to have a bit of that grey cable inside this box, so when it's sealed you can't see these. So we'll start off, if I can see what I'm doing, with a neutral. They're really easy, these, they're absolutely fantastic. You've got to leave a slightly longer stinger than usual, or they don't get a good grip. I'm not going to double them up, because I can't double them up, it won't get it. And there, it's got a right good grip on that now. Look, I'll even let go of the light. That's going to go nowhere. And you saw how easy that was to do. We will now, it doesn't matter whether you go into that hole or that hole, they both work. I'll just do this earth. Again, we won't trap the earth on this one anyway. So we've now got the earth. Now, behind us, just quickly show behind us, Jen, just to talk about it. I'm not going to do this one, but the only difference is with this one, this has got 2 cables, because it's not the last light, so all the lights will have 2 cables, apart from this one, because this is the last one, that will also leave hanging down for Tony to test. So I'll choose number 1 for the live, give it a firm push. When you've done it, give it a good pull. You can see that's absolutely perfect. I will now just give a little bend on that cable there, put it into there, close that up, and that now just pushes it up and into there. I'm going to leave it for now because the plaster's still a bit wet. Thank you.
Can I just put an add note on there? I know John did say at the beginning, but electricity does kill. This is just how we do it. That's all it is. We're not saying that you should go out and do it. You need to be competent. A competent person is somebody who is competent at doing what we're doing, basically. And we are competent. Electricity kills. You need to get a sparky in. You need to get an electrician in to come and test it. You have to get your building tested. Some will let you test. Some will let you first fix it, like we have done. And John is now second fixing. I couldn't imagine they'd let you second fix, but some will definitely let you first fix. But you have to get a spark in to test it, because it can kill you. Yeah, so that's the disclaimer. Yeah, don't be a knob.
So we're fitting the doors now, so obviously we need to get the sill nice and level. There's plastic all over the floor and it's been raining, so we've just give it all a good wipe, and that's why when we've just put these packers down, we've just drawn round them. But I will talk you through the packers in a second. Let me just move this out of the way. Right, so what we've got here
What did you clean the floor with?
Oh, so I used these wipes here to clean the floor. Just multi-purpose wipes.
Why have you cleaned it?
Just to help the silicone stick to the floor. But
it's raining, it's wet.
Well, it's fine, because what we're going to do is we're going to heat gun it, cover it with a plastic bag, and then we're just going to literally fit it as soon as we can. That's why we're just going to do a quick little video about how we got this floor level. Right, so our builds are mil perfect. It's literally 2 mil difference in this part of it to here. So I've got my laser. What I'll do, I'll just move this one here. So I've got my tape measure.
My camera works terrible. Go on.
I've gone along in certain points. We like to come around 150 in from the edge of the wall here. So I've gone round it all in various points, and I've got the different height measurements, and then I've just got the packers, and I've got. Let me just show you. Hold on. So I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Right, so here we've got it at 140 there, look. So if I've took this packer off now, so let me move out of the way. So if you can see that there, it's literally 2 mil. So we've gone around in various places.
Put your packer on, let's see it working.
Yep. And then there you go, look, it's 140, and I've gone all the way along then, and then what we've done is we've just drawn round them just so we can take them off and we can dry the sill and make sure it's all covered. Liam's put some little circles here. Now, I'm presuming this is for his screw points. What is it for then, Liam? Because that's what I thought. Ah, the shoes. Right, so we do normally do the squares where the shoes are, so we don't screw into the shoe. But Liam's opted for circles this time and absolutely blew my mind.
I'll tell you why I've done it, Jen. I've done it because we did want to come 150 in, but 150 is probably about there. So I know that we can't screw into the rod, but we can screw next to it. So that's why I've drawn the hole rather than the square.
Okay. Right.
Just because it needs to be a little bit more precise because it's so close to where we want it.
This is all level, it's ready for the sill now. This is the most crucial point for getting your doors in, because if your sill's not level, then your doors ain't going to open properly. So,
is there anybody on the internet that might show you how to fit a set of doors?
Yes, actually, there's a video what Liam's put up fitting these doors. There's a video of me putting the doors in. And did you record Davey putting the doors in as well?
We did record Davey. So Brandon will fit the next set of doors. Yeah? Yeah? Okay. And then John will fit the set of doors after that.
Yep. I am going to do a single door as well today.
I believe there's somebody on the internet that's fit a set of doors in the fastest time known to man.
Yes, that was Liam again.
Right, so basically what she's saying then, it's raining. We want to get these doors in even though it's raining. So we've marked them up so we know where to put them. We're going to dry off that floor after breakfast with a heat gun. Yeah, it's just a paint stripping gun, yeah. We're going to dry it off. The sill will already be cut, but we're going to show you that. I'm going to blast the line of silicone straight down there while it's just dry. We're going to drop the sill straight on it, screw it down, and then we know we've got a good seal under the sill.
Right, so we've got the sill now. We're going to cut it down to size. I'm going to cut it because Liam cut it short last time. So we've measured our doors and our opening, and it's 2.6. So I'm going to hook that there, measure my 2.6. There. Make sure it's pushed back tight to the saw bed. Don't know what that is. Right, so
just pass me the sill. Right, just talk about the sill.
Talk about the sill.
Talk about the sill.
So we haven't got any drainage holes here, but the sill's normally got 3 holes here for the drainage. It will be in the long piece. This is your thermal brake, so this is the bit where we'll be screwing in. Now there is a bit of controversy where you screw in blah blah, but this is where we secure it. We dam both ends of the sill so there's no water ingress back into the room. So you'll have a drainage hole here, big one. Liam just shows you there. I will flip it in a second and show you the underside of where the 3 holes are at the bottom here. Take them off. Right, so now we're going to just dam the sill. Now it's important when you get your metal shavings not to just brush them straight off because it will scratch it. But it is a bit wet, so we're just going to leave that like that. I'm going to just lift this up now because we're going to have to dam the sill. And now I don't
Watch my freshly plastered wall.
Right, let me just flip it over here and just show you these holes at the bottom, Liam. So if you see, there is just one there. There's one there and there's one here as well. So I'm going to dam the sill now. And that's not by saying damn you, sill. Right, so our door sits around 70mm here. So any water that gets underneath the door there will travel into the drainage holes there, and then it'll go into this empty cavity here, and then we've got the drainage holes there for it to come out of, which Liam did show you a second ago. Also, the doors have got drainage holes in as well, so if any water gets behind the seals or anything, it drops through, follows that straight out, bing bam boom, not into your room.
Right, I'm going to have to narrate over this one for you because the sound's gone dodgy for just a couple of minutes. She's filling the end of the sill with silicone, simply because what we don't want is any water to come back into the room through the drainage holes. And what she's doing there, she's letting it come out a little bit, because when we put the end cap on, we want it to catch the end cap and obviously seal the end cap there as well. So she's putting a good old blob of silicone which will stop any rainwater from coming back into the room. And she's also going to fill the thermal break, which is a little black piece you can see there as well, because we will be screwing through that down into the floor. So she's going to stick a bit of silicone. I've just told there's a little gap there, so she's going to fill it all, make sure there's no gaps visible. And there you go, she's filling the thermal break as well. What she'll do now is flatten that thermal break a bit off. Right, what she's going to do now, she's got the end cap. I'm just going to squeeze the end cap on there and it'll compress against that silicone that was sticking out a bit. She's just going to go get the nylon hammer now and she will tap it on. It's got like a little lip on the top which goes over the cut part, so you can't actually see that. You see it's gone on fully there now, so that'll have pushed against the silicone, made contact with that, which will then seal the hole and also bond the end cap on. And what she's going to do now, which is pretty important, she's going to get Wonder Wipe, Trade Wipe, whatever you want to call them, and she's going to wipe off the excess silicone that's just kind of come out on the edges. And it's good that it's come out, because you know that you've got a good contact on the back side of the end cap there. So she's just going to give that a little clean. Just going to squeeze that little bit in there in the thermal break. She's also going to go back and do the other side now as well, so you can see this more clearly. She's going to really fill it there, get loads of silicone in as much as she can. Make sure there's a good continuous sort of infill of it really, because what you don't want is any rainwater tracking back, and then what it'll do, it'll build up in that sill and then potentially come back into your room and ruin your floor and such like, which obviously is the end of the game here, is damming the sill. She's also fill the thermal break there as well, a little blob of silicone in there. Again, end cap will then go on and she'll tap that home. Make sure she's good and happy with that. Just tidy it off. Sorry about the sound. It goes back to normal in a minute. I have no idea what's going on with these road mics. Just on this job for some reason. I don't know if it's interference from somewhere. So she'll get it on there, look. Give that a little tap with the nylon hammer. Send that home. And then of course she needs to clean up then. It's important that you clean up. Get it all off now while you can. Give it a good clean, tidy it up. And then you see there, she just flatten the thermal break as well to make sure that's fully sealed as well. Right, this is the last one that I need to narrate for you after this is sound picked up. What I'm doing there, it's been raining all morning, so I'm using the heat gun to actually dry the floor. And we've also stuck some Visqueen over the front of the building there, just sat it on the roof, just keep the rain off it while we dry. Because what we want to silicone this down and provide a seal, so no moisture or rain actually works its way back into the building. You can see the packers there as well. I don't know if we've already explained that, but we've drawn around where the packers go just simply so that we can put them back exactly where they were before, because obviously Jen's lasered it, got it right. So we want them to go back in the same location as well, but they become wet as well, so we've dried them off. The heat gun is about 25 quid I think from Tool Station. A nice little bit of kit, you know, if you need to dry an area rapid. It's also pretty good for drying seed if it's like you've got a bit of rain on it just before you oil it. Right, so speed is of the essence kind of thing here, so we've got quite a few tubes of silicone on the go. I'm going to put a big blob on that corner, take the packer off, silicone under the packer, then silicone back over the packer, so there's a complete seal, again under and over. I want a full line going across there, again under then over, so when that sill goes down on there it compresses on that silicone, yeah. And then what it does, it forms a seal then, and obviously with it being wet we need it to be dry, so because obviously silicone will adhere better when it's dry. So I'm going to get, like, practically use a full tube of silicone on this one. Like I said, no idea what's going on with road mics, just didn't want to play ball on this couple of little bits here. Big blobbing corner there, again, get that on. Right, so that's fully done. The sill is inside the room in the dry. So I think Davey's going to pass me out now if I'm right. We're just going to show you there, there's a little offcut of silicone. The plaster board rather is straight, the door's going to go up to that, so we want the sill. The sill's got a little upstand on it, I don't know if you can see that, yeah, there's your upstand. So the frame will go back to that, so imagine the level is the frame. We want that sill to sit back slightly back into the room, yeah, just so that when the frame goes on, it sits tight to the plaster. So it's literally just about 1.5 mil, 2 mil back. I'm sorry I couldn't demonstrate that better with sound, but right, I've got some 100 mil screws there, which I'm going to fix it down with. I think Davey might be ready to pass me it out now. You can see, so he's damned the sill there, yeah. So we've damned it. Caps are on. David, I've already pre-marked the floor where it needs to go, so David knows roughly where it's going there. Same as me, I know roughly where it's going. What I'm going to do now, I'm probably going to get my level now. Yeah, reach for that. Slide it down the plasterwork. So imagine that's the door frame, yeah. And it's just caught on the little upstand there. Look, can you see it? That's how I want it. So that sill is in the prime position there. That's where I want to do. So what I'm going to look for where my packer is, and I'm going to screw down. I always screw down on the right hand side of my packer as I'm looking at it. And then when I fix my frame down, I'll screw on the left hand side, because I know there's a screw on the right hand side, if that makes sense. And I'll go to Davy's end now, because obviously it's aluminium, it's nice and straight. Drop my level down again. Davy's going to just nudge it out a little bit there. I'm going to get a screw in there. Once I've got a screw in each end, now that sill's not going nowhere, and it's dead straight, and it's in a good position. So all that remains then is to just send them screws down again to the right hand side of the packer every time, going through the thermal break there. You can just see, just compresses the thermal break, and you can just see the silicone popping out a little bit there, which is good. Because what we want to do is form a seal. So by seeing the silicone pop out there, you know that it's squeezed it down and it's made contact with that full bead of silicone all the way along. Again, another screw there, thermal break, just squeeze it down a little bit. Another one, I think that might be my last one. There you go, just squeeze that thermal break down, just to compress it a little bit but not crush it. And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to put a bit more silicone in the ends there and just dam the ends. I'm also putting silicone over the heads of the screws. You see me flatten that off a little bit there, so no water's going to actually go back up there and into the building. Also, likewise, no water's going to go and track its way down through that screw hole. So there you go, silicone them up. Feels a bit weird talking to a computer, narrating like this, but it's quite an important step, and I didn't want to miss it out just because the sound quality was bad. Don't forget to jump on the description as well. You see that little upstand there? So I'm on about when the frame comes in, it's going to hit that upstand, yeah? So that'll stop the frame coming back into the room, and also stop any water going up under the frame and up over. So what we need now is a bead of silicone on that little upstand as well. But what we'll do now, we'll fire that on once we've got the doors in place. I think that's what I'm saying there. Let's see if I can fast forward it for myself a little bit. And what we're going to do probably now is I'm going to get a bit of blue roll and just put it over the top of that sill just to try and keep it a little bit dry, and we'll pull that sheet off. Against the rain, so I'm going to have to be super quick with this. That's going to keep that dry. They've already dried the bottom of the door, because I want that to seal properly on there. Right, where's my silicone gun? I'll just have it. You can see there, I'm just going to put a bead of silicone along there. I am going to forget to wipe it off, and Jane's going to moan about that. Right, so I've got a bead of silicone, so when that door hits that, it'll seal it. I'm going to then put a packer, 1 mil packer, along there, because even though there's 3 of them holding that door, when they lift it up, I don't want it to scratch my sill. Okay, Debbie, you need to go that way quite a bit. He's ready? Right. Bottom in first. Send your top in a little bit now. Stand it up.
Brandon's not in. That's it.
Right, are we in? Yeah, we're in. We're in. Yeah. Right, I'll central it in a minute, John. Right, so what I'm going to do now is just pull these packers out and pulling them upwards rather than down. Did you hear that drop? You what?
You've got the mic on.
Pass. Yeah. So the door's now dropped down into place, so all the worrying about the rain is over. Right, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to centralise this door. How's that looking for you?
You've just got to put black cap.
Right, yeah, so what I'm looking for as well is I can get my skirting board on this reveal, which I can do. So yesterday you seen that we what did we do yesterday? So David fit the slate battens, didn't we? So now we've pushed this door in and it's in the position now where it can't fall into the room. So what we need to do now is stop it falling out of the room. And I'm going to just put that slate batten there like that. Hopefully not skip off. Not the greatest, is it, I've ever done. And this one here, I'm not going to put it near the hinge, because I know that I'm going to put a packer there, so I don't want it in the way. Right, so that door cannot fall in, it cannot fall out anymore. So everybody can let go of it and carry about the business, and we'll carry on fitting this now. Right, so the doors themselves, generally from Express Bifold, the key will be inside the rebate there where the glass goes. There is a new code now. I can't remember what it is, but it gives you 8% off now, doesn't it, Jen? Yes. If you want to get these doors, and the 5-day turnaround as well. Okay, right. So we're going to screw this door down now. It's literally just sat on the sill. That's all it is. Yeah. Jen, remind me that I've not cleared the silicone off that back track. Okay. Right. I know that I've screwed to the right of my packer. I always do. So I'm now going to screw to the left there. Now, as Jen said earlier on, there's a lot of debate as to where you should be fixing these screws. It doesn't weaken the door whatsoever by fitting them there. What I'm doing, I'm pulling that door back to that little rebate that we were talking about. Because I want to make sure that we're back on there fully. Yeah, see what we will do, you see the drain holes, right? So Jen explained this before. There's a drain hole in the thermal brake. There's a drain hole in the thermal brake in the frame. There's also a drain hole there in the door, in the sash. So what will happen is any water that does manage to get through that seal will go through there. Let me show you that hole. Can you see it? Yeah, it'll go down through the hole, yeah, like that, and it will end up in this thermal brake cavity here and end up going down these holes into the thermal brake in the sill and out the little bottom holes. There's one there, I can feel it. There, look, it's there, yeah. Yeah, and that's where the water will go. What we will do, we will anthracite silicone over the top of them screws so you don't actually see them anymore. Why are you bleeding? I've cut my hand somewhere. Right, now these doors, they have a magnet on them that stop them clashing. Now what you don't want to do is when you're fitting them is actually clash the door. So what I'm going to do is going to open that like that, nice and gently, push it across to there, and then carry on back with these screws. Again, going to the left hand side, because I know on the right hand side is the screw that I put in to hold the sill down. And as Jen says before, you get your sill right, these doors are easy to fit. And we've got one more. I don't know if you've noticed, I've been pulling the sill back, the frame back onto the sill. Just to make sure that it's pushed back tight to there. And what I'm going to do now, before I forget, I'm going to clean off that silicone. And I mean, it has popped out, and it's good that it's popped out because you know then that you sealed it. Yeah, they're that easy to fit, honestly. And like I say, I've fit them. I mean, was it just over an hour the fastest, Jen? But in my defence, it would have been quicker if there wasn't any integrated blinds, because for whatever reason, them integrated blinds make the glass unit that little bit thicker and the seals don't want to go in. Well, I've been training. Right, okay, so that's cleaned off, yeah. My bottom of my bifold now is now fixed to the sill. It's trapped on the plasterboard, it's trapped on the slate battens we put up there. So it can't fall in, it can't fall out, and the bottom, more importantly, the bottom can't pop out now as well. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start by fixing the hinge leg, which is this leg here. And when I'm going to do that, I'm going to get the laser out. You don't have to use the laser, you can use spirit level. Turn it on, works really good then. Jen comes to this side. She will see me get the laser. You have to come right in behind me. Right, I'll get you a white packer so you can see it better. Right, I know the door is plumb that way because David put the buttons in plumb, yeah? Right, and we can't do it with that anyway now because it's fixed. Right, you can see the laser there. You can see my finger on the edge. There's like a profile there. Can you see the profile? There's like a recessed profile, so it's right on the edge of that profile, yeah? See it there. I'm going to have a look up here now. And you can see there, it's ever so slightly. There, it's on it now, look, can you see it?
Yeah.
Right, so they're in a perfect position, and it makes sense really, because if your floor's level, or certainly your sill is level, that's a right angle that they've created, manufactured, yeah, and it's manufactured good quality, so it's a good, solid right angle, yeah, there's no, one side isn't bigger than the other, so if your floor is level, and you sit your frame onto your level sill, then that makes sense that that should be plumb, that way. It's ever so slightly out, just give it a little tap, but what you've got to bear in mind is you've got the weight of 3 doors hanging on there as well. Right, I am going to fix this. I know somebody asked this question, what were these tins that we keep all the stuff in? They're ammo tins, basically. They're ex-military ammunition tins. Davey, has John got a box of packers in his van? Yeah. Will you get us Right, ammo tins, they're about £11, £12 on eBay. They've got a really good lock on them. They've got a rubber seal on them as well, because obviously they needed to keep the ammunition dry, and they're great for storage. And a few people have asked that, and we've never ever mentioned where we get them from or anything. Right, I'm going to fix this in 4 fixings. I'm going to fix hinge, 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 and hinge there like that. So I don't know if Jen wants to go to the outside maybe. Yeah. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to slide some packers behind there until I'm in a... I don't want to push it across, I don't want it to pull in when I... There, that's nice. You see that there? Like I'm just having to wiggle it in, yeah? And I know when I can press my screw on there, it'll just pull it back a little touch as well. I know my laser is good. We're just using 100mm screws. I'm going to put my screw slightly below my packer. Again, I'm going through the thermal brake. I'm pulling the door back to that, even though it's back anyway, yeah? And I've just... Let me put my glasses on to make sure. What I want to do is compress that thermal brake just a little bit. There, can you see it now? Look, it's compressed, look, yeah? Yeah. That's what I'm trying to achieve on it. So, like I said before, really easy to fit these. You save yourself a good chunk of money if you're going to do them yourself. Yeah, you'll know they're done right as well because it's what? Follow this tutorial. Yeah, if you follow it right, you'll know they're done right, and then, you know, if that's a little bit too tight, you don't actually want to push it across. No, that's better. Come here, look, have a look at that, Jen. Can you see there now, look? Can you see that line? It's pulled it in too much, look, yeah? So I'm going to back it out now. I'm going to pull them packers out. Yeah, I'm going to stick another millimetre in there. Which would give me a white, wouldn't it? Is that right? What black. Yeah. Stick a white in instead of black. Yeah. Right, because I know it's pulled it in too far. And what you're looking for, and I know it might sound pedantic, but you are looking for millimetre perfection. So I can't get that in with that screw, so I'll take that screw out fully. That screw's warm. Just don't want to go in for whatever reason. Probably hitting a nail or something on the... That's more than annoying. Right, what I'm going to do now is get something to prise that door over. Just so I can get this in. That's what I want. I want it right, yeah? There we go. Yeah, nice. Yeah, so I just used a bit of persuasion just to get it across. And there, just nipped it up, and there, we're good on that. Right, We're going to do this one now down here. 4 fixings in this leg. I've got how many at bottom, Jen? Can you count them? 6. 4 in each leg, 6 in bottom then. And we'll put 2 in the top. We're only going to put 2 in the top. I don't want to go across either. Just come here. You know what it's doing? It's hitting the bloody staples, because whoever's put the staples in hasn't sent them home properly. Yeah. What I'm saying to you guys is, if you want to build pack, you want to build one of these, right? You will save yourself a load of money by doing it yourself. And there's 13 different sizes as well, all permitted development. Can't get my words out. Right, we're going to do exactly the same on this side now. Right, I'm going to put laser on that side now, so I've got it in the same location I had it before on the bottom, yeah, just on the edge of that profile. I'm going to put that on there. It's hard to see. Let me get my finger out of the way. I can't see something. No, right. It's on the edge of the profile, basically. So that tells me the door has been manufactured correctly, because that's level, that's plumb, so this has to be plumb. And it's just a case of fixing these now. Right, I take stuff on board, yeah? People tell me stuff that I should be doing, and I take it on board. And I didn't know. You what?
I like this.
That these pop off, yeah, and you can put your screws in there and then conceal them. I didn't know that. Never even questioned why they were there. Although when I did take it off, I couldn't get the bloody thing back in. But we'll see. So they pop off, so I can get a fixing up there. I can get one in there, one in there, one in there, one in there, and one at bottom, and we're all good, yeah? So that's what we're going to do. Have a look at our gap on this side now. We're going for the top now. And like a tool, I've put that where I said I wouldn't put it on there. Yeah. So let's take that out. Right, I know what's going to happen now is my door's going to want to come out. Can you see it now, look? See it wobbling? But I'm all right with that because it's not falling out, so we're not panicking. I'm going to slide what packers I can behind there. What we got there? Red and white. We leave a 17mm. Is it 17mm we leave on ours? 16, 17mm clearance to allow for the fact that.
Oh, I can't remember what his name was, but it says, why do you leave that? Why don't you just leave that couple mil either side?
Because it's a timber frame building. Because we're we're out in the field and we're building it. And sometimes things go wrong, yeah. So we want to give ourselves some wiggle room, and we know with 15, 18mm or whatever we've just said it was, that'll give us plenty, and we know that we can recover that with our plasterboard either side, and our cedar on the other side, so it's still good, yeah? Right, so I'm going to pull that tight to the plasterwork. Yeah, again, just compressing that thermal brake. I wish I knew who said to take the caps off. But to be fair, Jen, them caps weren't in the initial doors, were they? It's a new thing on, a new style of door that they're actually supplying us with. Right, and somebody else says, why don't I screw through the packers? Because sometimes they break, so we don't screw through them. So anyway, this then, right? But, all right, so I've just answered my own question then, right? Telling me not to fit through thermal brake. What am I fitting through now? Manufacturer's screw hole, thermal brake behind it. Yeah. So that goes in the face of that then, doesn't it? So right, I'm gonna take these out really carefully, and I'm gonna let Jen fit them back in because they're all on there. Look, Jen, yeah. Because I couldn't get them back in, probably because I was trying to force it and I'm impatient and the bent legs on it. Right, but they're definitely there for a reason, aren't they? Right, you're fixed. You'll go with the red one. Again, sometimes the packers break. Somebody says you should be using horseshoe packers as well. It's literally the shape of a horseshoe, Jen. And what you do is you put your screw through and they sit on top of your screw. You don't hang there. But these packers, see that pulled in too much then? Could you see it? No. It pulled in too much. So what I'm going to do now is try and whack that behind there. Right, so I'm going to take that screw back out. Doesn't want to go across, where's my persuasion? Staple again, look, see that now, look. Yeah. Whoever fit them staples, right, and causing me to end up bloody problems. Right, get rid of that. See a little thing like that, isn't it? You like to do the job right. If you don't do the job right, one thing after another goes wrong and every little job leads on to the next job. Yeah? So if you think, oh, that'll be alright, it's near enough. And then when your next job is going, you're near enough, hasn't worked out for you. See, how can that be? Look, yeah? That goes in.
Is the blue smaller than the...
No, well, either way, look, that's 6, yeah? Bit loose for me, that's 1. Doesn't want to go in. So is that gap 6.5? Possibly. Right, we will go with the 6. And what we will do there, we won't over nip that screw, simply because that 1/2 mil is causing me an issue, and the foam will get it, yeah? What did I forget to do? Packers. What can we talk about while we're doing this? Can you remember any questions, Jen?
No, I can't remember.
No.
Oh, actually, are you and John related?
No, we're not related, no. We've known each other since we were kids, yeah. Young kids. Once I've got that in there, that will be the bottom, and yes, it's still 2. What's smaller than that? Is it a white or a black? There we go.
That's what I did for my birthday.
Did you get the designer shoes for your birthday? No, you didn't. You got a car for your birthday, didn't you? We did go to bingo, not because I'm an old fart, because Jen wanted to go to bingo. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to shut that. I'm not going to worry about the top at the moment. I'm just going to make sure that we've got closure on our doors. Now these will not glide straight away because you've got no glass in them, and the head isn't fixed yet either. But yeah, so I'm just checking it locks, which it does, yeah. I'm not catching on out, it's not binding on out. Yeah, let's have a little look outside. It's all good. Yeah. Right, so again, I'm going to open this door now, ever so carefully. Right, when you open bifold doors, you need to open your travel door fully, otherwise you're going to damage the door. Yeah, so when we go like that, look, I'm keeping my thumb to stop that handle hitting that. And now we're going to address the head, and once the head's done, then we'll just case fitting the glass. So my frame is fixed bottom and sides. Now I've got the head there, you can see the movement in it, yeah? Right, so what you want to do this is measure that point there to that point there, yeah? And what you want is you want to fix in where the doors hinge and where the doors hinge there as well. So it's there and there. I've already pre-marked these. Right, I've measured that. This is hanging down nearly 4 mil. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put in enough packers so I can draw it up the 4 mil that I need. You want it? Is that better? Right, so I'll pop that in there now. Right, and because I'm doing it on my own and Jen's trying to film, I'm going to pop this screw in and then wind it back out if it's not right. Now, let me show you what kind of screws we're using here. We're using them roofing screws that we screw into the steel. They're self-tapping, yeah. They've got a nice long thread on them and they'll draw the door up, no problem at all. So I'm just going to pull that back to the plasterwork. Right, it's pulled up there. I could feel it pull up. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to measure it again. I know what my measurement was. It's 1780 then. Yeah. And see how much. No, we've got a couple more mil. I didn't want to wind it all the way up simply because I'd already put my packers in it and jump back out and put more packers in it. That bit wants to stay in there. And I keep pulling it out because the minute I don't, it'll drop down and hit the sill. Yeah, so 1780. So Jen went to bingo. She's now addicted to going to bingo. She loves it. An addictive personality. Oh, should we put it to the test, Jen? Should we put it to the vote? Right. Jen has what? She's got a compulsive nature, yeah? Right? She's very impulsive. And what she has decided to do is get a massive tattoo of a tiger on her ass. Now, I've told her that she shouldn't. So you let me know if you think she's not going to show you, by the way. That ain't going to happen for all you Jen followers. That ain't going to happen. But can I where I put that screw on? Oh no, because I'm going to put it in the wrong place. So let's put it to the vote. Should she get a massive tiger tattooed on her ass? Right, let's pull that up again. I could feel it going up. Let me get that bit out there. Can you see it? What I want to do is make sure that we're good. Lovely. Right, so that's your door frame fixed. Now the door does want foaming, but I'm not going to foam it till I put the glass in because I always end up getting it everywhere, don't I? You see them gliding, yeah? They're not gliding successfully at the moment simply because I haven't got the glass in. But they are looking nice. Right, I'm going to tone heal these glass. The burner phone's ringing. Right, so let me explain tone healing. I've explained this quite a few times, haven't I? Right. You can see this door now, right? So it's open at all its points, yeah? Did I give John that pen or did he give me it back? Got it. Right. A gate. Think of a garden gate. Right, so there's your garden gate, yeah? There's your fence post. There's your fence post. And these are your hinge points there. Right, to stop that gate sagging, right, it will generally have braces in like that. And the pressure of them braces holding that on that hinge side there keeps the gate upwards so it doesn't sag down. Right, so that's bracing. So we want to brace the glass, but obviously we can't put a massive piece of timber straight across the diagonal of the glass, can we? So the way we're going to do that is exactly what I showed you on the window. We're going to come off the hinge point, yeah? So we're going to go packer there, yeah? Packer there, and keep that pushed up, yeah? Now, this is the part we want lifting off the frame. So packer, and that will push up. So them two will be pushed up like that. This here is a fixed hinge point as well, yeah? So we've got packer, diagonal brace like that. So all the loose parts of the door, all the bits that are floating, are actually lifting up rather than sagging down, so your door won't end up sagging then, if you know what I mean. So that's what we're going to do. I'm literally going to put one piece of glass in, show you that, and then I'm going to turn the camera off. I'm going to fit the rest of the glass. And we'll show you the magnet getting fit then. Right, I've already fit them 2 bits of glass. Jen's putting in the... what are you putting in, Jen? The gasket. Jen's putting the gasket in. She'll show you that going in as well, but I'm just going to show you the toning and healing of this door and fitting of the glass. What you want to do is make sure when you take these out that you don't drop them down and damage your sill. Yeah, so this door opens like that. It's hinged there, so it wants toe and healing from that point to that point there. what I'm going to do, I'm going to put myself a packer there simply because when I put my glass in, I will then be able to get the wedge under it, no problem, to lift it up. I can turn heel it. Right, this glass has been on site for a while now. It's quite dirty, so I just want to give it a clean just before it goes in, so that any bits of muck that are on the gasket side have gone. Pull all these travel packers off. If you look at the sticker often says which side should face the room. This is sticker to room side. Talk a little bit about the glass as well soon. If I manage to fit the what they're called, what them blinds called, John? Solar powered blinds. So it's coated, it's got a coating on the glass, and that label needs to go inside. Yeah, see it says inside there, I don't know if you see that. They're obviously toughened units, yeah? So in theory, if I throw a hammer at the middle of this glass, it won't break. But I should have 3 spare units on Monday, and if I have, I'll bring one in and we'll break it, and we'll show you how easy or how hard it is to break it. Can I have that, please, John? Yeah. So this is a glazing shovel. Again, it's a nylon shovel, like the nylon hammer, so it isn't going to break the glass. The reason why I put that under there is so I can now get that underneath. And I know from experience that a grey packer is just what I need. So I'm going to lift the glass up and slide that under in that corner. I'm just going to leave it out a little bit because what I want is that packer under both sheets of glass, because what will happen is the sun will get on that glass in the summertime, and one side of the glass can drop and they break the seal, and then you'll get a misty unit. So you can see I've got a packer there and a packer there. Push that glass over to that side and do exactly the same on this side now. I'll put a grey in there. And then the top then, I'm just going to lift it up. You might be, I don't know, it's hard to see because it's like black. Can you see that distance there, Brandon? Yeah. Can you see it? Can you see it going up and down? Look, yeah. So what we want to do is lift that up. It's called towing heel in the glass, and you're lifting the door up then. So slide that one in there, but I know that's not going to be enough. I'm going to get a black on it as well. Are they struggling to go in, Jen?
Yeah.
And I know you're not going to want to show them going in, are you? Because you've not done your nails, is that right?
Exactly that.
Yeah, I did think that. Right, so now I've got that packer in there. Doesn't want to go in for some reason. There, we're in now. Right, so that's tone heel. What I'm going to do is just hold the glass, make sure it shuts and opens without catching and locks, which it does. Right, I'm going to put the beads in now. That can come out now. In theory, what should happen is, so we've got packers there going up. We've created a brace going up like that, diagonally through the glass. Yeah. So you see that packer there, look, it moves freely. Yeah, it's just catching a bit of bitumen on the bottom of that glass, but it's moving freely there, yeah. And there as well, so there's no weight on that corner of the glass. Are they a real struggle?
Why did I choose to tone it?
Not quite sure, Jen. You did. Right, so these beads that go in, if it makes sense, like that, yeah. That's not in properly there. It's gone in now. Yeah. Right, let me just show you. She took the thing she has. No, you're good, you're good, you're good. They can be a bit tricky to put in. You can hear moaning and groaning there. Is it hard? Is it difficult? Look at her face, Brandon. Is it hard and difficult? Yeah. Right, you can see there, look, Brandon, you can see that? See my bead's not going in? Right, so the reason behind that is because there's no gasket in yet, so the top and the bottom bead are slightly on an angle, which has then made the length of that shorter than the actual bead. So what I'm going to do is just put my foot on there like that. I'm going to flex the bead in the middle, just to get it to going where it wants to go. Yeah, and then I'll let go of that, because what will happen is I'll stretch it in the middle there and bend it out. Right, that's gone in. Right, so that one's in. One more bead to put in, and then we'll put you over to Jen and she'll show you how easy it is to get these gaskets in. Again, that one's a little bit tight, so I'm just going to do the same again. Flex it out in the middle, get it in. They do want a good old tap. I've never actually broke one putting them in. I've broke one moving them, and these stickers then, you want to get them off before the sun gets on them, because otherwise they'll be a pain to come off. Yeah. Right, what are you doing?
Right, so they'll be able to win, won't they?
Yeah, they will in a minute. Right. If anyone's watching this and you're absolutely disgusted that Jen hasn't done her nails, then please feel free to comment.
Right, so
Like working with tramps.
so you've got your gasket here. It comes in one big long roll. What I was just doing then is I was just measuring.
Why have you not thrown gasket on the floor?
Because if you put the gasket on the floor, it's going to get bits on, and when you're putting it into your glass, it's going to scratch the glass.
Very good.
So it's in between my legs. Right, so what I've done is I've measured the top roughly. I've done the top and I've done the bottom. We like to do the top and the bottom first. For what reason, Liam?
I don't know, I've just always done it that way, because you're going to leave your loops on your sides as well, aren't you? Could you not get blue packers in the sides there?
No, I couldn't.
Do you want me to try? It will make your life 100% easier.
Let me
right,
just
explain why.
I should be able to get this head in first. Right, so he's on about a blue packer there, because as he was saying about the gap towards from the bead to the glass, it's if you just stand here, Brandon, and have a look there. I'm going to take this one out now. Can you see this gap here? If I take that out, you see how it closes it a little bit? I mean, you can't really tell, but...
Right, you see the gap there, look, watch. See it? Yeah?
Yep.
So what we want to do, if you can get a blue packer in, because the blue packer is 5mm and the brown, what colour is that?
That's great.
A grey one is 4mm. So if you put a 5mm packer in, it makes it wider basically, which makes it a lot easier to put it in. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to see if I can get some blues in here just to make her life a little bit easier. You want that?
Thank you.
Right, so it's gone in, right, but what I'm going to do now, right, I'm going to slide it across like that. Yeah, nylon plastic, not going to break it, yeah? Right, so now, what's happened now, I've made that gap bigger, so that seal should pop in. Just show the seal on my hand if you can.
So there's two sides to this.
Maybe on that there.
There's two sides to this seal. There's a big side and a small side.
There's a smaller section and a bigger section.
Yeah.
If it's tight, she's going for a smaller one, aren't you?
Yeah. Right, so I don't think you'll be able to see because it's a bit dark.
That's the problem, isn't it? Try to show it.
Yeah.
Tell you what we'll do. 1 minute. Davey! Gonna be a massive pain. Hold that sign above that third window, like that.
Right.
Against the glass, Davey. Is that any better, or has it just made it 10 times worse?
It's just made it a bit worse for me. Right, so...
It's made it worse, Davey.
Yeah, it's alright.
Ignore me. Thank you,
Shift
Davey.
it across. As I shift it across, it's opening that gap up. So then I can push the gasket in then. So the bigger the packet you can get in, the better, because it makes your life so much easier.
If you get a bit of, what's it called?
Window lean.
Yeah, what's
Glass
it do?
cleaner. It's like
see how that's
lubrication.
gone in now, look. See how that's sliding in now.
Sliding in the hole.
Yeah, lovely. What you want to make sure though is that it ain't coming out there because it's sliding all the way along, which it's not. And we try and avoid getting finger and nail marks in it, don't we, Jen?
We do, yeah. So when we get to this part here, I'm gonna push this packer up there.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not.
I'm going to put a blue in for you. Just 1 minute.
He's starting the packer off at the middle because there's most flex there.
You can flex the bead and the glass more. There.
Thank you.
Right, so what will happen now is I'll pull that out there for her. Slide that up quite high there.
Thank you, shovel back.
Sorry.
Right, and then I'm gonna measure it against this bead here. Hold on.
Give me the shovel.
Stuck in my pocket. Right. So I've measured it here, and I'm just going to snip it there. I don't know if you've seen where I snipped it from there, Brandon. Shovel.
Oh, I think you've left too much on.
Ah, right. So me and Liam always have this debate now. I've just struggled to get the bottom in because it was a little bit longer. But in the summer, these beads shrink, and then you end up with a gap. So if you can get it in and push it behind there, it's just, there you go, see all that go back there. And then if it shrinks, you're not going to lose it then. Hold on. There you go, look.
I stand corrected, she got it in. Right.
Can I have some blues?
Yeah, do the leg.
Right, so I'm going to do the same. I'm going to keep that off the floor. I'll just show you here because it...
No, I'm good. Right, so watch this, look. So just watch this. That's a 4mm packer. That's a 5mm. Can you see that gap that's created there? Look, there's probably a 3mm gap there. There's 4, there's 5. When I push that down there, that one will fall out.
This might's not.
There. Is it falling, look? Yeah? See, look how loose it is now. There. It's all right, Chris will hear me.
Yeah, true. Right, so I'm just going to hold this there. And then go down to that bit.
Right, I'm just going to stop it there, just because this mic isn't working, just so we can get it again.
I'm putting a little bit more lubrication in here. I've just measured my my gasket. It's longer than what I need, so I'm going to start it near the packer. Oh, sorry, hold on. Right, start it near the packer and then slide it up. Get the shovel.
Sorry.
Right. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to push it right tight so it's against that one and there's no gaps then. I'm going to slide this down a little bit further and I'm just going to show you what we do with the loops. So that's in there. I'm going to loop this round here, and that's so when we get to the bottom.
Jen. Right. Slide the packer down, make an imaginary packer loop.
Oh, right,
so
okay.
you can still use your packer and slide it down.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Right, so she's going to imagine the packer was still there, yeah?
Okay, and I'm just going to send this one down. Hold on, 'cause I can't.
Just send it about 6 inches, Jen. No, push it rather than because it'll end up breaking on you. That's it.
Right. So I'm going to imagine there's a packer there. I'm going to pull it down because that's too big. There you go. And then I'm going to slide that down. So I've created a loop there. I'm going to do one at the bottom as well. And that's so when I go to the end, I can get the end in. And like by magic, all this goes in and you've got that excess. So if there's any shrinkage, you don't actually ever see it because it'll be long enough.
So bizarrely enough, it shrinks back, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, it's plastic in it, it's in the, it's rubber in the sun, so I'm going to take it out now. Slide that there. Give a loop there. Get my snips. Measure it. Cut it.
It is one of the horriblest jobs, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
If it's cold, what you want to do is get your seal and put it in a bucket of warm water. That's the best one. It makes it more pliable, more workable. You definitely want either silicone spray or window cleaner. Window cleaner is good because you're going to clean windows anyway, aren't you? So I'd definitely go down that road. You see, she's using back end at now on shovel there rather than using her fingers because you end up with
nail marks in it.
Yeah, and your fingers hurt, don't they?
Yeah. Pull skin away from your fingers and it's horrible. Right, so I'm going to do this one off camera now because I'm absolutely...
And you've had enough?
Yeah.
Right, okay. So basically, that is your doors fit. It's so easy to do, right? If you follow these steps, yeah, and they will glide lovely. We are going to put the magnet on. I'll show you that going on as well. But what we're going to do, we're going to let Jen fit these while we all watch her struggle. Yeah. See, she got the blue in there, didn't you?
She did.
Yeah, she did. Right, so that's it, that's your doors. Right, your doors will come, if you're from Express anyway, that's for sure, they'll come with the magnet. The magnet is to basically hold the doors open and also to stop the handle from clashing into that sash there. So what we're going to do, we are going to show you how to fit it like a pro. Right, so what I'm going to do, it needs to go on the top there, or certainly that's where we fit. It looks a bit awful on the bottom, so I'm going to put it on the top. I'm going to, you see there, look? Right, so the further I put the magnet down, the bigger that gap will be, yeah? Yeah, but there is more than enough, yeah? Can you see now the handle will not clash on there? Right, so I'm now going to take that off, and I'm going to open that like that. And I'm going to put a line where I want that magnet, yeah? Yep. If Jen just comes and she jumps on this trestle with me, she will see me fit it. Just watch this drill because, right, jump up here. Yeah, right, the magnet itself, and put one part in my pocket. If it doesn't come apart like that one hasn't, in the little jiffy bag, take that pencil out of my mouth so you can understand me, in the little jiffy bag, there is a little key, and in the little key, there, like, let's put that now, look like that, yeah, and then turn it, yeah, and then that will then come off like that, okay, right, so in there is the base of the magnet, so I'm just going to pop that back on there. It's so much slower to do a video and show you how to do it than it is to bloody fit the thing, you know, to try to talk through everything for you. Right, so I'm going to get my tape measure. We obviously want it centralised, yeah, so the sash is 60mm there, right, so I'm going to draw a line at 30mm, yeah, so that is the centre, so that's where I want to drill. It comes with screws or it comes with rivet fixings. We don't have the machine to actually do the rivet fixings, so we opt for the screws every time. You want a 3mm HSSP, oh, sorry, door blowing there, I had a little panic on. Right, and you'll go through the metal like that, nice and steady, yeah, through that one piece, yeah? Okay. Yep. And can you see how I purposely drilled it a bit lower? Right, okay. Time to put the glasses on, I think, yeah? Not to worry, we can get over that. Right, so they've got a self-tapping screw, yeah? It's stainless steel, so it doesn't rust. Okay. So what I'm also going to do now is, right, so this is an important part of it. Let me just shut this door. Right, you jump down there, Jen, so you can see. Right, because when the doors open against each other, they form a triangle shape like that, yeah? Yeah, so it's reducing there. So with the magnets sat square on the door, the magnets won't sit on top of each other properly. Now, if I'm right, is it that one, Jen? It's got a tiny little grub screw in, and that will call for the glasses. Right, so in the kit, yeah, is a tiny, you see them there, look, super tiny, yeah? Drop them on the floor, you ain't getting them back. Yeah, it's got a little point in which will bite into the door as well. Okay, so I'm going to get my Allen key, which I've lost, there it is. And I'm going to screw that in to there, like that. And I know from experience that if I screw it in that much, yeah, okay, that will be enough to hold that magnet off at the correct angle. Now, I also know that that one needs to go at 9 o'clock, like that, and then that door will go at 3 o'clock, and then both magnets will sit square onto each other. That makes sense, yeah? So I'm now going to drive that into there and go straight through and smash the glass. Right, so that's going in nicely now, it's biting in. I'm going to put the little grub screw at 9 o'clock, yeah, and I'm going to nip that up now, yeah, nip it up. Okay.
Do you remember when I left magnet top at door and went to close door?
And you brought door? Do you remember that, Jen? When was that?
Roman's first day.
Was it?
Was it your first day? I couldn't understand why it wouldn't shut properly. Oh, and then it wouldn't open, yeah.
Right, so what Jen did, she slapped the magnet on top of the door, then couldn't find the magnet anymore, and then shut the door, then the door wouldn't open. What I'm going to do is just swap this around simply because one of them has got like a little...
You can take that off, you know.
You're not supposed to.
You're not supposed to?
No.
Oh, I thought it was just like...
It's to stop them chipping each other.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, it's just like a little plastic cover, although that one's not being put on very well. What we might do is get another magnet out of the van and replace that. Yeah, you shouldn't be able to see that mistiness in it.
No.
Do you want me to take it off?
Yeah. I was trying to think of the other ones we had in
There, look.
there.
See, we've got when me and Davey went and met George Clark.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got some extra ones. See that? That's why you don't take it off. It's not supposed to come off. But can you see it's fogged up like that? So we will replace that. But for the video, I'm just going to stick that back on there. Yeah. Everything for a reason, Jen. Everything for a reason. Don't like it, do you?
Don't like what?
Well, I tell you.
I didn't even...
You can see a little anger face. Right. So stick that on there like that, yeah?
Yeah.
Right, let's put that Allen key back in there because I will lose that. Right, what I'm going to do now is, this is the tricky part. You could measure this, which we have got a measurement written down somewhere. But because I've free-handed this, then the measurement won't be... Right, can you see now? That's hitting that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to draw around this magnet here. You won't be able to see, will you? Can you see? So I'm just going to draw around that magnet so I know where to locate it, and I should have a circle now on there. And I've got a circle on there. Can you see it?
I can't see it on here. But...
You better see it in a minute when I shut this door. Right, so I'll shut that. Can you see it now? You can. Right, so I will now take the base out of the back of this magnet, which I have pre-loosened. Brandon, will you go look in my glove box of my van? There should be some black magnets in boxes. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to locate that where it needs to go. I'm going to draw the centre of the hole. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and now I'm going to drill it again with my free wheel HSS bit. Right. Previously, on the previous episode, I have actually dropped the magnet on the sill before, but luckily enough it didn't damage it. Right, so this magnet now needs to be at 3 o'clock, which is our home time, isn't it? What are you doing tonight, Jen?
Nothing.
I thought you were going bingo.
I don't know, it depends.
On what?
What time you're finished editing.
Right.
Our life revolves around your YouTube channel now, so people
Right,
should
yeah.
appreciate that.
It does, yeah, but only because we decided to do this series, and it is all time consuming, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's just a little burden that we have to bear sometimes.
Not that we mind, but we've got to make certain sacrifices.
Right, you see, I've drawn that one out the same. It's probably a little bit more actually. There. You can adjust them, do you know what I mean? So don't worry about that if it's not sitting quite square. Although it's essential, I don't like it. You know, because you can see it sort of stepped off. Have I just put that little bag on the floor? No, it's in my pocket. Everybody calm down. Right, there it is, look. Okay, right, so there's my self-tapping stainless steel screw. Now I'm going to drive this one in. There's my little magic key, look, which I've dropped. Is it like watching a dithering old man, Jen?
Just the one. More of
Right. Okay. Oh, I tell you what, I put one on pod. That's what I've done. Right, Jen. Concentrate on this. Can you see it cutting into the door? You what?
Should be able to hear it on the mic.
You can just hear me going. Right, I'll set that one at 3 o'clock. So that's 9 o'clock. That's 3 o'clock. Have I lost the other magnet?
So on this one, I will.
It's in my pocket. Okay, right, so that's how you fit your magnet. Now that should catch on there. And it does, yeah. So that's now stops that from hitting there, yeah, so you're not going to damage that. And also, it's got a magnetic force on it as well, which stops the wind, although it's not a massively strong magnet, so you still need to be aware of that fact. But when you open these doors, you always want to send that door back and then open your other doors.
Right, so I'm now going to do the light switch, as promised. I have done the fuse board, but me and Liam have discussed it between ourselves that we're not going to show me installing it, because unless you're qualified or you've got you're skilled, we just won't want anybody to damage or hurt themselves. So unfortunately, we can't show you that. I will show you the fuse board if you like, but I'm not going to do it because we're worried that somebody may hurt themselves and we'll be liable for it. But anyway, onto the light switch. Come a bit closer, Dave. I'll stand here. So if you remember, I did say there was a common. I don't know if you can read it, but there's a common here. This is common at the top. This is your L1 and L2. Now, I've already ahead of time slackened L1 in this one, slackened L1 in this. I've slackened my commons. Now, what will happen is the L1 will be at the bottom. When I turn the switch round, when that's on the wall over there, I want that switch to be on in that position. And I also want that switch to be the inside lights, so that when you walk through the door, you don't need to be close, Davey, that I can come in and that is my first light switch that I get to. That light switch then will do my outside lights. So I'll turn that off. If you want to come close here now, David, so I don't get confused. It don't really matter for now. I'm going to turn that light off. I'm going to flick it round and keep my finger. So I know that this switch here, what I'll do is, I don't usually do this, but I'm going to do it for the video. If I just put a little dot here, I know now that is my inside lights. So one of the first things first that I'm going to do, I'm going to come here. I've got 3 cables here. I have got one that says feed. That is coming from the consumer unit. That is the live cable. I've also got here Canopy, which means outside lights. I just call them Canopy. And inside, these are the inside lights. I'm not really fussed about these for now. What I want to do is get this live brown cable. I want to get it and I want to put it into this common here, into the common, and send a live signal. And then I'm going to put a little loop cable over to this side as well, and then I will use the live from the inside and the outside lights and put them both in L1 there, obviously in the right order, so that when I flick that round, that's me inside and that's me out. If you get it wrong, and so you get it wrong and you go, hang on, I've messed up, that's me inside. All you got to do is swap them 2 wires at the bottom, because all that is doing there is joining the lives together. When you pull the switch down, it's just officially like cutting your brown cable and retouching it again and giving you a signal. Right, so we'll do that first. I know this big long one is my live. So there you go, I can chop that now because I know definitely that that's my live cable. So I'll use these wire strippers. Sorry if you can hear Liam, they're doing a video as well outside. In the winter, you'll find out this cable's quite cold, and it's really hard to do. So what I've done is, I'm not going to open the door. On the outside, I've pulled the cables tight so that I can pull them back a bit like that, and I'll have a little drip loop outside, which I will show you at some point. So what we're going to do, all we really care about now, is stripping this brown cable back. I'm not going to put a loop on it, on this one, because it's going to get 2 cables put into one side of the switch, so I don't need to. Temporary now, I'll just, that's one screwdriver. Where's my screwdriver? Thank you. Nope. Yeah, that one there. Thank you, David. I'm glad somebody, it's very dark in here today, so I know that that's going to be my first one. It's too long is the stinger. You don't want your stingers, it's called a stinger. I think they call them a stinger. You don't want it too long. That will be perfect. So just temporary now, as a quick fix, I'm going to show you. David, let me get it in, David, so I know that this now is live to my first light. I'll just gently put that in there. Now I'm going to make a little cable. Can you see it, David? I'm going to make a little cable that's going to go from there to there, so that will allow a live to the other side. So I'll do that now. I'll use a piece of old cable on the floor here. Might as well. Use my clippers. The best way to do this is, if you're going to use an old piece of cable, is to put it into the thing there. You can show them, Dave. I'll go up in there. Perfect. I'm going to put it in here first, so that just slacken it out. So it's quite important that I've got that there, because I know that that's my first switch. So sometimes we do have a triple light switch, and we have 3 switches. There you go. So if I do this, I'll pop it round in a minute, David, don't worry. So if I flip it back round now, you'll see that I've got my live, and I've also got this. So what I'm going to do now is, David doesn't have to be too near, but I'm going to now bridge this across to there. Okay, so we'll just do that now. I'll just put a little... So I'll show you that now. So what we've got now is a nice cable with a little loop leaping over to the other side. Now all I've got to do is, the blues are all going to go together in a connector block, so are the earths, so we're not bothered about them. So there'll be 3 blues connected together, 3 greens connected together. So all I need to do now is find the brown cable on my inside light, which is here. So I know it's this that I'm dealing with. So what I'll do is, it gets a bit, if you've never done it before, it gets a bit complicated. Well, not complicated, but a bit busy. So now all I need to do is get this brown cable from here and put it down to this L1 where this black mark is. And I know 100% when I flick it like that, that will turn my light on. So there you go. I'm now going to put this cable into this L1. And I know it's L1 because I slackened the screw. So, because it's dark, I can't read it at all. But you can see that the screw, I think you can. The screw on this one here is screwed all the way in, and this one isn't. So it helps me distinguish which is L1 because I can't see. So if you just take a look at that now, after let a bit of light in, doors open, we can see. So we've now successfully connected our first inside light. So now all I'm going to do, I'll just end this video now. I'm just going to get the brown cable, oh, hang on. I'm going to get the brown cable from the outside light, and I'm going to connect it here, and then, no, keep it rolling, David. Now, I'll quickly just do it right quick. Right, so one more look, David. So there you go. We've got our L1 there and our L1 there. So now if David just passes me a few connector blocks. Right, so just have a look at that, David. So I've put them 3 in there, and all I'm going to do now is put the earth sleeve on and put those 3 in there, and that is the light switch connected. And then we'll do the big power up as well. Don't know if we're going to video that, but it's ready to go. I've already done it all. If you remember when I said to you, I pulled it in tight like this. So now I can put a bit of slack back outside, and then we can put a clip on here and we get a little drip loop on these. Okay, I've now just powered up the electrics. I have done one circuit at a time. I've already done the sockets using this tester. Show them. So basically I plug this in into all the sockets, and it lights up, and it comes up with 3 green lights to tell me everything's perfect. I've not turned on the lights yet. We're now going to test the lights. If you know, I've just shown you the switch. So remember, this first switch here should turn on the inside lights. Let there be light. Oh, so there's the inside. If Liam just pops to the outside, I'll now turn those on if they come on. Yeah. So there's the light switch. I've also, if Liam just comes over here, I've used this tester here. This is a Fluke T100, is that say? T100. I use this and I put it on the brown cable and the blue, and I flick the breaker on in the board, and it tells me there's 240 volts. Right, that's it for the electrics. That's as much as we can show you. Sorry about we didn't show you the board. Thanks for watching.
We're going to have to literally fire through these questions super quick because one of the mics is running out, and it is Friday as well, so fire away, Jen.
Right, so Johnny G, have you considered plumbing a water supply into your builds with a dedicated flushing toilet with basin along with a kitchenette?
Yeah, it's a planning. You've got our planning for that as well, but yeah, it's easily doable.
Right.
It's a planning permission job.
Tristan Quinn, how do you seal the vapour barrier around the lightning wires and sockets, or do we bother?
We don't bother simply because you're going to penetrate it anyway. Yeah, so the report says it was pretty much redundant. So, but we still like to put it in anyway. But we don't. We have taped them up before, but then the tapes came off as well when the condensation builds up. So,
what LED strip do we use, and what materials do you choose for the controllers and wiring, etc.?
Right, so we get all our LED stuff from a place called Smans in Leeds. I'm not actually sure of the brand off the top of my head. If Jen remembers on Monday, we have got 2 rolls in the back of the van. We might pull one out and have a look. But we either use the dot one or the solid beam one, and we get the drivers. Sorry, tell me sorry.
No.
We get the drivers from Smans as well, either 12 volt or 24 volt for the solid light.
Right, so I'm not sure if he's asked another question, but I was practicing his name, Francis.
No, you balls it
Hold
up.
on, Francis McNamara.
That's correct.
That's right.
Yes,
yeah.
that's correct.
Right, okay. Andy Barton, do you know other companies in Devon that produce the same design and finish as you guys in Leeds? He's guessing we don't travel that far.
We don't, but right, and I'm not. This might sound big-headed, but it's not. Right, I've had loads of builders buy build packs off me, and they're following our design and the way we build basically because they know it's successful. So there will be plenty of people, but all I would say to you is we don't travel that far. But what I would say to you is make sure you 100% definitely know that they build garden rooms and they're not stealing somebody else's pictures, because there's loads of companies out there that are using other people's images and computer generated images. Ask to go see one, yeah, or word of mouth. Otherwise there's a high possibility you'll get poor quality and potentially ripped off, because I know there's quite a few people that have been ripped off.
We've been to a few jobs, haven't we, where they've been ripped off as well?
We have, yeah. And sadly, some woman messaged me last week, and she says she sent a picture of this garden room, and she'd got an independent surveyor in, and he'd condemned it, so she'd kicked the company off site, and she'd been left with this building that's half finished and out of pocket, which is sad. So go see a build, and word of mouth.
Yeah. Right, Ian Maddox. The build pack has 400 centres. Should he really use 400 between each to make the most of insulation? I'm guessing it means between his
Right,
wall.
Right, so the floor is 400 spacings to give you maximum use of insulation. The walls are 400 centres, which account for the plasterboards and the OSB sheets, so we have 400 centres. You could go down the road of having 600 centres. Where's that person going? Of 600 centres, but you're not going to get as strong a build.
Right. Neil Ogden, have you ever used aluminium shoes?
No, we haven't. No, we haven't. We've sometimes used galvanised if that's what's came, but you know, the whole rust rate and all that, you know, it's not going to rust in your lifetime. But a lot of people are using galvanised square plate washers now instead. But because we're commercially building, I just prefer to use the channel.
Jaeger Andrev, why not buy your timber?
Sounds like a boxer, doesn't it?
Yeah. Why not buy your timber, insulation, and all your fixings in advance?
Because I'd have to store it somewhere. I get a really good price from Shire Timber for my timber, and you know, it's uncertain times at the moment. We've had a lot of cancellations on jobs, so I'd be left with loads of materials just sat in a well, you'd need a warehouse, wouldn't you? But yeah, that's it.
Paul Golightly, is the height of the front exactly 2.5, mate?
No, it's slightly under ours. Ours is always slightly under.
Right.
From the highest point of land adjacent to the building, of course.
Right, hold on. There's quite a few of these that are crossed out. Sorry. What adjustment would be needed for a gym with a shower and toilet?
So you need planning permission. If you're going to have a shower and toilet, you need planning permission. And when you get planning permission, you can build to a higher build height. So which, if you're doing an overhead press movement, especially if you've got 20 kilo, let's say you're 6'6" and you've got a 20 kilo barbell with Olympic barbell and weights on, you're going up quite a long way there. So you know, you might want a 2.7, 2.8 internal height, but of course you'll have got planning permission because you've got your plumbing.
Right. Earlier I mentioned about someone asking me about what I did for my birthday. It's called Dominic Fravs, I think, because I can't understand my writing there.
Dominic Fravs, right, okay.
Camping with intent. That's a good name. Camping with intent. That's good. Three-sided garden room up against a brick wall. How would you seal a roof against the brick to stop the rain from water?
I would have a flashing upstand, so I would grind out a mortar line and have a flashing upstand. But again, get on the group, Oakwood Garden Room self-build group. There's a guy called Jimmy Mitre who knows everything there is about flat roofs. Somebody posted a question the other day, complicated flat roof, and he gave back such a detailed, educated answer. He's a sound bloke. Jimmy Mitre, get on the group, ask him questions. But what was the question? Oh, upstand. So I would grind out a mortar line, and then you'd have a flashing to go in it, and then you'd have your upstand going up, and then you're flashing over top, and then pointing up.
Right,
What's that got to do with your birthday?
No, that was Dominic Frogs.
Oh, yes, what you did for your birthday?
Yeah.
Right. She went to bingo.
But that was a different person. Camping with intent with the three-sided garden room.
Right.
Right, McNaughty. Could you sheet the roof with 9mm OSB on a small build with loads of noggins in between rafters?
Yes, of course you could, yeah. No problem at all. Smaller build than... I mean, like I said, we're commercially building. 9mm is proper pushing it, but if you've got a little tiny building, you've got loads of noggins. If you've got enough noggins and all your joints are on, but you'd want to be less than 400 centres, I'd imagine. 9mm's really pushing it. I don't know. A sheet... In fact, 9mm, no, what am I thinking? I thought you were on about 11, which is only 3mm bigger, obviously. No, it's not, it's 2. Maths ain't great. But 18, it's the cost is minimal, really. But you're going to spend a lot of money on whatever you're building, right? You're going to spend a lot of money, so you want to build it right. Don't try and cut corners. And it'll take you ages to put noggins in, and cost you money for the wood to put noggins in as well.
And it's going to be dangerous as well, walking on the roof.
Yeah, you don't want walking on 9mm. Yeah.
Right, so Mark Gallagher, how much overhang did you have when you installed the floor to the base? Now, I feel like some of these questions you're giving away a bit too much information for free.
Okay, so it's all in the build pack. It's all in the build pack.
Sorry,
we do actually let our flooring float over our 4x3s though, so that we can avoid the OSB hitting the side of the shoe.
Right, okay.
There's only so much I can give you, right, without shooting myself in the foot and never being able to sell the build pack again.
Yeah.
You know, because like
Sometimes
build packs have actually kept the company going, so I need to keep them selling them.
Right, Daniel Smith, 6x4.8. He's going to use your rod system. Is he right in believing he can build the side height 2.5, then with an apex roof with a finish overall height at 4 metres?
As long as he's more than 2 metres away from his boundary, yeah. What was the overall measurement? 6 what?
6x4.8.
Oh, let's say 6. So let's say 6x5 is 30 square metres, isn't it? So at 4.8, you're probably just trying to get it under planning permission, aren't you? But you need to be 2 metres away from your boundary, and they might want building control involved because that's a big beast.
Right, Damien Clarkson, have you ever done any rooms with solar panels?
No, like I said, the vast majority of our builds are permitted development under 2.5, and anything above our roof would bring it over the 2.5. That includes skylights.
Right, Neil Thompson, roof 4, 6 before, what's the best plan of attack?
Roof what?
There's a roof, I think it's for his dad actually, he's doing a roof 6 before, what's the best plan of attack?
6 before, you want to span it the 4 metres, because 6 metres, if you're building the permitted development, you won't get the right size timber in, and you'll also need what we do on the 4 metre build. So we have 2 timbers bolted together, 5x2s, and then every other 2 timber we have a flitch beam, which basically is a 10mm sheet of steel. Which is a 10mm piece of steel sandwiched between the 2 5x2s, again drilled and bolted. So that's a flitch beam. So we'll have double timber flitch beam, double timber flitch beam, double timber flitch beam along the 4 metre spans.
Right.
And it's sufficient. It's strong as hell.
Crave that coin. Paul Daly, reference MMA fan, question mark?
No, didn't actually realise Paul Daly was an MMA. What would you call him? Athlete?
Fighter.
I've actually got a friend called Paul Daly who is the be-all and end-all of any plumbing in this country. I'm telling you now, if there's anybody who knows anything about plumbing, it's Paul Daly. Literally, if I ring him up and go, my boiler's doing this, that and the other, and he'll tell me some serial numbers and what I need to do, and he knows everything about plumbing, and he knows all the regs. To the point is, right, the last time he came round to my house to do something, he condemned me gas mix. He said it was leaking and he shut my gas off on me. Because he is straight down the line and he does it as it should be.
It's Yiddy. What drivers are you using on your impact drivers for screws? Can't talk.
What bits are we using, you mean?
Yeah.
What bits? We always tend to always use just the normal cheapy DeWalt bits. They last for a decent bit of time, but they do break a lot on the floor. But yeah, I mean, they're about a £5 for 25 out there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we tried the more expensive ones. We tried the DeWalt shock impacts, the Milwaukee shock impact ones, whatever they are, or impact rated, and they all still break. It's like you just keep the cheap ones from where.
Ray Peasley, can't you do a warm roof and still stay under permitted development height by just building a lower max height?
No, because your internal height. The way we build, right, your internal at your highest point is pitched roof. I think is it 2,000? Is it 2,100 inside or 2,090 or something like that, isn't it?
50, I think 2,050. That's what I measured over there.
Right, so that was the back though. That you're going towards the back slope, weren't you? I think it's about 2.1. So if you're going lower than that, I mean, I'm 5'8". I can easily touch the ceiling, and we did one for a bloke who was 6 foot summer, and he was concerned that his head was going to hit the ceiling. So you have to lower your internal height. Dig down or get planning permission. That's what I would suggest.
Right, I think that's... Oh, Samuel McPhee, badge idea, same logo, Oakwood inspired garden rooms. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, sounds good. Same logo. It'd be nice because, like I said, right, we started off doing this just to I don't know, just to help people out. People asking us questions. Did a few videos. It sort of took off from there. The fact that people would like a badge or to buy a hoodie, to buy a hoodie, an Oakwood hoodie, is like blows my mind. It's what they call it, merch. Yeah. That's what my daughter said. She went, "You want to start doing some merch?"
You should.
I mean, we're certainly not the ball builders anyway. But I don't know. It just blows my mind that people would actually want a badge or a jumper or a hat or even a cup. Yeah.
I'm going to have to write some more because I do know there's some more questions and people are waiting.
Right, there is loads more questions. Right, what's happened is, right, Jen's had a couple of sort of days off from doing questions, hasn't you? Because it is hard, do you know what I mean? And she's doing it in her own time.
I've written over 300 questions. So.
And I'm editing all night. She's not seen me all week. I've not seen her all week. It's putting a strain on us, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Yes. But I think we're going to be serious.
Serious.
I think we're going to play bingo tonight. So
maybe.
We'll see how that goes.
Right, Mock RTW. Where's the best place to buy the roofing materials, waterproof membrane, glue fascias, etc.? Right. I think I have asked this one already.
Yeah, we buy all ours from Northern Building Plastics. They sell the full kit that we sell.
Right, okay, thank you. We're about to put our tools away now, so thank you for that. And I'll get your questions wrote down.
A few more questions answered. If you want to ask us some more, feel free to drop them. We'll try and record them down. That's upside down, isn't it? That is your burner phone number. I have put a 6-digit number. Yeah, there's a 6-digit number somewhere in this build. It's happened quite a few times. A few people have seen it. A few people have seen a completely random number as well. You need to WhatsApp the burner phone 075862095. No, start again. Right. What they wanted was John to do you know when you sing a phone number, John, what's it called? You know when there's a competition? 08800 45, you know, like that. But we'll probably see if we can get John doing it over the weekend. Oh, because he does like singing. A jingle. 07586209596. That is your burner number. This is us. We are Oakwood Garden Rooms. If you have remotely enjoyed this series, and it's not over yet, there's still a few more days to go, the finer details, but if you've remotely enjoyed it even, get down on the description. There is a link for the Yorkshire Choice Awards. We have been nominated for the most charitable business. So if you've enjoyed it, it's cost you nothing. You've had over probably 15 hours of footage. Yeah, cost you absolutely nothing. Get on there and vote for us. Or if you want to build to this bloody same quality, which I have no doubt is the best quality garden rooms you will get in the UK without a shadow of a doubt. Yeah, there's everything. You see everything built with no corners cut. There's no like cheap materials used. Everything is prime and good. And if you want to build like that, then you need to get a build pack. 13 different sizes. Again, the link is in the description. And what else is left? The raffle. The raffle is almost there now. It might possibly go this weekend with a little push if I fit the solar blinds and do another video. It might not. I don't know. But the raffle, £2. you can win the pod or £20,000 in cash. So if you want to win this Sternus hammer, yeah, it's a beautiful thing, it really is. Can you see it properly there, John? Yeah. 13 ounces, solid aluminium shaft, it's super lightweight, good framing hammer. That's your burner number, but you need to have seen the 6-digit number, okay? And that is the burner phone. Do not ring the burner phone, yeah? I will not answer the burner phone, do not ring the burner phone. All I want is the 6-digit number sent. I don't want your name or anything like that, because what we're going to do, we're going to probably scroll through all the names up and down like that on the screen, video it, and then somebody's going to say stop. I'll stop on a number. We'll ring that number. If it's not answered within 4 or 5 rings, we'll decide we're going to go on to the next person. But somebody's going to win this hammer. It's a beautiful thing. I don't even think they're available yet in this country. The only ones you'll see are on people promoting them where they've been sent them for free. Right, so that's it. That's your burn number. That's your phone. That's your Yorkshire Choice Awards, yeah, and your raffle as well, yeah, so that's it. 10 days in, we are running behind schedule like I said we would be. We didn't bury the cable today because it's just rained all day basically, but we'll probably do that on Monday, won't we, John? You got something to say? No. Oh, I thought you had. So Monday we'll probably bury the cable and I will go get the seeder and we will start to come to an end then. We're really close now anyway, so probably how far would you say we are behind, John? Maybe a day and a half, a day? Maybe 2 at a push. We're probably, but you know, them 2 days we are behind is because we're doing these videos for you. And I want to address one more point. A guy said, right, we use the rod system for a lot of years now, right? And he said he went. It's not new. We've been using it for years on our garden rooms, and you haven't. If anybody can show me a picture where they've been using the rod system exactly like we have, timestamped picture. If you can trump my timestamp picture. Right, then I'll concede. But nobody's been doing it, have they, John? Nobody. I've got a picture of John. He didn't even have hairs on his balls, and he was sat by a rod. Yeah. Right. So that's the challenge. If you've got a picture of a garden room you built with that rod system, and it can supersede my picture timestamps, then you know I'll wind my neck in on that one. But don't tell me you've done something if you haven't done it. You need proof. Right. That is it. It's now Friday. I'm going to go home, I'm going to edit this video as well. Enjoy your weekend, stay safe, and we will see you Monday, yeah? Get to the description, hit the links.